Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning to you wherever you are in the world, and welcome to The Show Must Go Online, bringing you live performances of Shakespeare's complete works with a new global cast every Wednesday night. I'm Robert Miles, actor, writer, director, and creator of the Shakespeare Deck. We're delighted to announce that on next Monday, The Show Must Go Online will be presenting an evening for mental well-being in support of the charities Mind and Calm, and hosted by the wonderful Jack Baldwin, veteran of our Henry VI Part 2 and Titus Andronicus. The evening will feature new writing excerpts from some incredible writers, including Luke Barnes and Jade Anuka, and featuring incredible actors, including none other than Rose Leslie of The Good Fight, Game of Thrones, and Luther. We're so pleased and proud to be able to facilitate this great exhibition of talent for an amazing cause, and all proceeds will go direct to Mind and Calm, split straight down the middle, 50-50. And with that, tonight's Romeo and Juliet will commence in approximately 10 minutes' time. The first half will run for approximately 80 minutes, with a 5-minute interval followed by an 80-minute second half. On social media, you can follow the show's official Twitter account at TSMG Online Live, or follow at The Show Must Go Online on Insta and Facebook. Share your reactions using the hashtag #ShowMustGoOnline. Tonight's game is Tremors in the Force. Spot the times when the characters intuitively pick up on the fact that larger forces are working upon them. If you enjoy the show, please like this video and subscribe to the channel, remembering of course to set the bell icon to receive all notifications, and consider making a donation to our Patreon page, an opt-in hardship fund for all those who take part. And now, to introduce tonight's play, brought to us as always by the wise and our warrant of virtuous Ben Crystal, I'm absolutely delighted to welcome a friend of the show, a fan since the beginning, and the creator of the fabulous fan art we receive each Wednesday before the shows. Someone who knows a little something about being a bright and talented 14-year-old young woman, it's Annabelle Higgins. Annabelle Higgins is an amateur portrait artist and a member of British Mensa, with aspirations in the worlds of theatre and literature. Annabelle, the play, as I'm sure you know, is Romeo and Juliet, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Rob, and thank you, Sarah, Ben, and the whole Show Must Go Online team for having me here. It's really an honour to speak to you all tonight. Romeo and Juliet. It's one of the most well-known pieces of literature in history. It's even overleaped the bounds of theatre to reach the worlds of art, music, and general culture. I'm fairly sure that even people who haven't read or seen the play can recognise the names of the protagonists and the phrase star-crossed lovers. But what makes this timeless love story so, well, timeless? Why are there still people like me who love it so much? I can only give you the impressions of a 14-year-old girl, but I hope you'll find them enlightening. I always ask myself why Shakespeare wrote this play, seeing as the story already existed. He adapted Arthur Brooke's poem, which was adapted from an Italian source. Yeah, R&J went through quite the journey before Shakespeare even heard of them. Anyhow, I think I know why he rewrote this recognizable tale. Shakespeare uses a prologue to tell people that, yes, you've heard this sort of thing before, but I'm going to make it cool. The reason he retells this story is probably so that he can play about with the plot and characters and make something he liked and that was well known into his own creation. He wanted to take a base that he liked and take it to new heights. If that was his ambition, well, he certainly achieved it. This is the first of the Bard's plays where the plot absolutely centralizes on love and hate. As Romeo very well says, "'Tis much to do with hate, but more with love. Why then, who brawling love, who loving hate?" Although some earlier works touch on the theme, Romeo and Juliet is focused on a tale of strong and headstrong affection, living in an atmosphere of hatred. This contrast and others are perhaps what I love most about the play. Throughout, we see different character dynamics and different kinds of love shared by each: platonic, romantic, unrequited, and dutiful, such as Juliet's apparently formal relationship with her parents. On the other end of the spectrum, there is hate, that between the sworn enemies, and even that which the lovers bear towards their names. Obviously, that's swiftly overlooked. On the dark backdrop of loathing, there is a spark of affection that unites two would-be enemies. How poetic. This play is packed with emotion, and the sequence of events is driven by the characters' feelings. It's this absolute motivation, and not so much that of power, that makes me think that the play is all about how people feel and react to their emotions. I've met several people who think that this play is somewhat ridiculous, and in a way I can agree. But that's because the characters are dominated by their hearts and not their heads. It's a triumph of soul over sense. Now, a little bit of the plot. We open in Verona, where a brawl begins between the houses Montague and Capulet, culminating in Prince ESCALUS meting out unpleasant punishments for future disturbance. We meet love-struck Romeo sighing over Rosalind when Benvolio turns up, closely followed by an illiterate servant who slips them an unexpected invitation to the Capulet ball. Before we see Romeo again, we meet Juliet with her nurse, a picture of prettiness, not ready for the conversation of marriage her mother comes for, as the County Paris asked for her hand, despite her youth. She effectively says, "I'll see," when told to like Paris. That was rather a daring move for a lady at the time. Romeo is whisked away to the ball by Benvolio and Mercutio, who hope for him to forget his hopeless love for Rosalind. That plan succeeds because he swiftly falls for Juliet. The couple are soon married, but are estranged by Romeo's reluctant slaughter of Tybalt. He is banished, and Paris's desire to marry Juliet is put into action. To escape this, she turns to Friar Lawrence, but the two lovers will never quite reach the future they want. Spoiler alert, they die. The climax is powerful. There's the wistful regret imparted by the friar, and the devastation that comes to all parties. Romeo was too early, and Juliet was too late. But I don't actually see their deaths as the most moving part of the end. I think it's the reconciliation between the Montagues and Capulets that really sinks in the most, as it upturns the Elizabethan standard of parental superiority. They realize that the bond which brought their families together is still strong in death, and in a play where all the young people, bar Benvolio, meet their ends, the adults are forced to face the facts and accept the consequences of their quarrel. Forgiveness is sealed by an apology to the children, and I really, really like that. It turns a play from being one of whirlwind romance and tumultuous conflict into something more, into a play about how constraining prejudice is, and how it's hard to escape without it dragging you down. Despite the satirical point of view that can be taken, the stupid teenagers didn't listen to their parents trope, we have to remember that these were serious themes portrayed by young people, and if I'm anyone to compare by, they would have been hard-pressed to do any better than they did in the circumstances. Every time I reread the play, I'm really struck by their youth. I'm Juliet's age, more or less, and when I perform one of her monologues, I realise how fascinating it is to view the world through her eyes. The way I see it, she and Romeo are representations of innocence in the play's world which is not expecting their love, which is too ugly for them. Romeo becomes a reluctant killer, and Juliet a compromised woman with the looming threat of an unlawful marriage. The innocence they have in the beginning is progressively lost as they go through life-changing experiences, marriage set aside. I'm slightly older than she would have been. She, who had a banished husband and was being forced to marry again, even though she knew the complications. For this reason, I really think that taking the potion was an act of misdirected bravery, because she took her life in her own hands, recognized the danger, but knew that her love was not wrong. The world only made it so. I find that Shakespeare covers a lot more than forbidden love and family drama. He covers issues that will remain relevant forever, the desires of identity and choice. Juliet is more than a Capulet, and more than her parents' property to give away in marriage. Romeo is more than a Montague, and can love truly when he chooses. I think this is why the play is still alive today, and will remain so. Everything I've just told you is part of my answer to when someone asks me why I love Romeo and Juliet. But it's always changing, because I find new things to admire as I rewatch and reread. Look out for the descriptions of love and beauty dotted throughout, and conversely, the barbs exchanged between the Montagues and Capulets. It's really cool that Shakespeare could write very romantically, but also make his characters say some rather sharp and often comic things. So, to summarize, Romeo and Juliet is about a boy and a girl who fall in love. But that's not the whole story. It's about a boy and a girl who find comfort in one another, who find that names are not condemning, who love in adversity and who want to escape, but end up showing their families the fruits of resentment, and in a very tragic, heartfelt way, bringing forgiveness. Plus a whole lot of mixed feelings, fun biting, and a dash of comedy. To the entire virtual audience, you are in for a treat tonight, and I, for one, cannot wait to see what this fabulous cast will bring to our screens. To the actors, break a leg, and to the audience, enjoy.
Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona, where we lay our scene, from ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventured piteous overthrows doth with their death bury their parents' strife. The fearful passage of their death-marked love, and the continuance of their parents' rage, which but their children's end naught could remove, is now the 2 hours' traffic of our stage. The which, if you with patient ears attend, what here shall miss, our toil shall strive to mend.
Act 1, Scene 1, Verona, a public place. Enter Samson and Gregory of the House of Capulet.
I strike quickly, being moved.
But thou art not quickly moved to strike.
Ah, dog of the House of Montague moves me.
To move is to stir, and to be valiant is to stand. Therefore, if thou art to move, thou runnest away.
A dog of that house shall move me to stand. I will show myself a tyrant, and when I've fought with the men, I will be civil with the maids. I'll cut off their heads.
The heads of the maids?
Aye, the heads of the maids, or their maiden heads. Take it in what sense thou wilt.
They must take it in sense that feel it.
Oh, me they shall feel while I am able to stand. And 'tis known I am a pretty piece of flesh.
Draw thy tool. Here comes two of the House of Montague.
Oh, my naked weapon is out. Quarrel, I will back thee.
How? Turn thy back and run?
Oh, fear me not.
No, marry, I fear thee.
Let us take the law of our sides. Let them begin.
I will frown as I pass by and let them take it as they list.
Nay, as they dare, I will bite my thumb of them, which is a disgrace if they bear it.
You bite your thumb at us, sir?
I do bite my thumb, sir.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
Is the law of our side if I say aye?
No.
No, sir, I do not bite my thumb at you, sir, but I bite my thumb, sir.
Do you quarrel, sir?
Quarrel, sir? No, sir.
But if you do, sir, I am for you. I serve as good a man as you.
No better.
Oh, well, sir.
Say better. Here comes one of my master's kinsmen.
Yes, better, sir.
You lie.
Oh, draw if you be men. Gregory, remember thy swashing blow.
Up, fools! Put up your swords, you know not what you do!
What?
Art thou drawn among these heartless hinds? Turn thee, Benvolio, look upon thy death.
I do but keep the peace. Put up thy sword or manage it to part these men with me.
What? Drawn and talk of peace? I hate the word as I hate hell, all Montagues and thee. Have at thee, coward!
Clubs, bills, partisans, strike! Beat them down. Down with the Capulets! Down with the Montagues!
What noise is this? Give me my longsword! Ho!
A crutch. Why call you for a sword?
My sword, I say! Old Montague has come and flourishes his blade in spite of me!
Thy villain, Capulet! Hold me not! Let me go!
Thou shalt not stir 1 foot to seek a foe.
Rebellious subjects, enemies to the peace, profaners of this neighbour-stained steel, will they not hear? What ho, you men, you beasts, that quench the fire of your pernicious rage with purple fountains issuing from your veins on pain of torture from those bloody hands? Throw your mistempered weapons to the ground and hear the sentence of your moving prince. 3 civil brawls, bred of an airy word by thee, old Capulet, and Montague, have thrice disturbed the quiet of these streets. If ever you disturb our streets again, your lives shall pay the forfeit of the peace. For this time, all the rest depart away. You, Capulet, shall go along with me, and Montague, come you this afternoon to know our farther pleasure in this case. Once more, on pain of death, all men depart.
Who set this ancient quarrel new abroach? Speak, nephew. Were you by when it began?
Here were the servants of your adversary and yours close fighting I did approach. I drew to part them. In the instant came the fiery Tybalt with his sword prepared. While we were interchanging thrusts and blows, came more and fought on part and part, till the prince came and who parted either part.
Where is Romeo? Saw you him today? Right glad I am he was not at this fray.
Madam, an hour before the worshipped sun peered forth the golden window of the east, a troubled mind drove me to walk abroad, where underneath the grove of sycamore, so early walking, did I see your son. Towards him I made, but he was ware of me, and stole into the covert of the wood.
Many a morning hath he there been seen with tears, augmenting the fresh morning dew. Or private in his chamber pens himself, shuts up his windows, locks fair daylight out, and makes himself an artificial night. The black and portentous must this humour prove, unless good counsel may the cause remove.
My noble prince, do you know the cause?
I neither know it nor can learn of him. Could we but learn from whence his sorrows grow, we would as willingly give cure as know.
See where he comes, so please you step aside, I'll know his grievance, or be much denied.
I would thou wert so happy by thy stay to hear true shift. Come, madam, let's away.
Good morrow, cousin!
Is the day so young?
But you struck 9.
Ay me, sad hours seem long. Was that my father that went hence so fast?
It was. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours?
Not having that which having makes them short.
In love.
Out!
Of love.
Out of her favour where I am in love.
Alas, that love, so gentle in his view, should be so tyrannous and rough in proof.
Alas, that love whose view is muffled still should, without eyes, see pathways to his will. Where shall we dine? Oh me, what fray was here? What? Yeah, tell me not, for I have heard it all. Here is much to do with hate, but more with love. Why then, oh, brawling love, oh, loving hate, oh, anything of nothing first create. Oh, heavy lightness, serious vanity, misshapen chaos of well-seeming forms, feather of lead, bright smoke, cold fire, sick health, still waking sleep, that is not what it is. This love feel I that feel no love in this. Does thou not love?
No, cause I rather weep.
Good heart at what?
At thy good heart's oppression.
Why such is love's transgression? Love is a smoke made with the fumes of sighs, being purged, a fire sparkling in lovers' eyes, being vexed, a sea nourished with lovers' tears. What is it else? A madness most discreet, a choking gall and a preserving sweet. Farewell, my coz.
Doff, I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me wrong.
I have lost myself. I am not here. This is not Romeo. He's some other where.
Tell me in sadness, who is that you love?
In sadness, cousin, I do love a woman.
I aimed so near when I supposed you loved.
Oh, right good markman, and she's fair, I love.
Right fair mark, fair cuz, is soonest hit.
Well, in that hit you miss. She'll not be hit with Cupid's arrow, she hath Dian's wit. And in strong proof of chastity, well armed from love's weak childish bow, she lives unharmed.
Then she hath sworn that she will still live chaste?
She hath, and in that swearing makes huge waste, for beauty starved with her severity cuts beauty off from all posterity. She hath forsworn to love, and in that vow do I live dead, but live to tell it now.
Be ruled by me. Forget to think of her.
Oh, teach me how I should forget to think.
By giving liberty unto thine eyes. Examine other beauties.
'Tis the way to cause hers exquisite in question more. He that is struck and blind cannot forget the precious treasure of his eyesight lost. Show me a mistress that is passing fair. What doth her beauty serve but as a note where I may read who passed that passing fair? Farewell. Thou canst not teach me to forget.
I'll pay that doctrine or else die in debt.
Exeunt. Act 1, Scene 2, Verona, a street. Enter Capulet, County Paris, and second servingman, the clown.
But Montague is bound as well as I in penalty alike, and 'tis not hard, I think, for men so old as we to keep the peace.
Of honourable reckoning are you both, and pity 'tis you lived at odds so long. But now, my lord, what say you to my suit?
Oh, but saying all what I've said before, my child is yet a stranger in the world. She hath not seen the change of 14 years. Let 2 more summers wither in their pride, ere we may think her ripe to be a bride.
Younger than she, our happy mother's maid.
And too soon marred are those so early made. Earth hath swallowed all my hopes, but she's the hopeful lady of my earth. But woo her, gentle Paris, get her heart. My will to her consent is but a part, and she agreed within her scope of choice lies my consent and fair according voice. This night I hold an old accustomed feast, whereto I have invited many a guest, such as I love, and you among the store, one more, most welcome, makes my number more, and like her most whose merit most shall be, which on more view of many, mine being one, may stand in number, though in reckoning none. Come, go with me. Go, sirrah, trudge about through fair Verona, find those persons out whose names are written there, and to them say, my house and welcome on their pleasure stay.
Find out whose names are here written. It is written that the shoemaker should meddle with the yard, the fisher with his pencil, and the painter with his nets. I am sent to find those persons whose names are here writ, and can never find what names the writing person hath here writ. I must to the learned. Oh, in good time.
But man, one fire burns out another's burning, one pain is lessened by another's anguish. Turn giddy and be whole by backward turning. One desperate grief cures with another's languish. Take thou some new infection to thy eye, and the rank poison of the old will die.
Oh, your plantain leaf is excellent for that.
For what, I pray thee?
For your broken shin.
Why, Romeo, art thou mad?
Good end, good fellow.
God give good end. I pray, sir, can you read?
I, mine own fortune in my misery.
Perhaps you have learned it without book, but I pray, can you read anything you see?
Aye, if I know the letters and the language.
Ye say honestly. Rest you merry.
Stay, fellow, I can read. Signor Martino and his wife and daughters, County Anselm and his beauteous sisters, the lady widow of Vitruvio, Signor Placentio and his lovely nieces, Mercutio and his brother Valentine, mine uncle Capulet, his wife and daughters, my fair niece Rosaline and Livia, Signor Valentio and his cousin Tybalt, Lucio and, oh, the lively Helena. A fair assembly. Whither should they come?
Up.
Whither? To supper?
To our house.
Whose house?
My master's.
Indeed, I should have asked you that before.
Now, I'll tell you without asking. My master is the great rich Capulet, and if ye be not of the house of Montagues, I pray come and crush a cup of wine. Rest you merry.
At this same ancient feast of Capulets sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves, with all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and with unattainted eye compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow.
One fairer than my love, the all-seeing sun ne'er saw her match since first the world begun.
You saw her fair, none else being by, herself poised with herself in either eye, but in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that I will show you dining at this feast, and she shall scant show well that now seems best.
I'll go along, no such sight to be shown, but to rejoice in splendour of mine own.
Exeunt. Act 1, Scene 3, Verona, a room in Capulet's house. Enter Lady Capulet and Nurse.
Nurse, where's my daughter? Call her forth to me.
Now by my maidenheaded 12-year-old I bade her come. What lamb? What ladybird? God forbid, where is this girl? What Juliet?
How now? Who calls?
Your mother.
Madam, I am here. What is your will?
This is the matter. Nurse, give leave a while. We must talk in secret. Nurse, come back again. I have remembered me. Thou'st hear our counsel. Thou knowst my daughter's of a pretty age.
Oh, faith, I can tell her age into an hour.
She's not 14.
I'll lay 14 of my teeth, and yet to my teeth be it spoken, I have but 4. She's not 14. How long is it now till Lemmas-tide?
A fortnight and odd days.
Even or odd of all the days in the year. Come Lemmas eve at night shall she be 14. Susan and she, God rest all Christian souls, were of an age, well, Susan is with God now. She was too good for me, but at Lemmas but as I said, on Lemmas eve at night shall she be 14. That shall she marry, I remember it well. 'Tis since the earthquake, now 11 years, as she was weaned, I never shall forget it, of all the days in the year, upon that day. For I had then laid wormwood to my dug, sitting in the sun under the dove house wall. My lord and you were then at Mantua? Nay, I do bear a brain. But as I said, when it did taste the wormwood on the nipple up I dug, and felt it bitter, pretty fool, to see it tetchy and fall out with the tug. Oh, shake, quoth the dove house, 'twas no need, I trow, to bid me trudge. And since that time, it is 11 years. For then she could stand high lone, and nay, by the rood, she could have run and waddled all about, for even the day before, she broke her brow, and then my husband, oh, God be with his soul, who was a merry man, took up the child. Yea, quoth he, dost thou fall upon thy face? Thou wilt fall backward when thou hast more wit, wilt thou not, Jewel? And by my holidam, the pretty wretch left crying and said, I.
Enough of this, I pray thee, hold thy peace.
Yes, madam, and yet I cannot choose but laugh. To think it should leave crying and say I.
Went thou too, I pray thee, nurse, say I.
Oh, peace I have done, God mark thee with his grace. thou was the prettiest babe that e'er I nursed, and I might live to see thee married once. I'll have my wish.
Marry. That marry is the very theme I came to talk of. Tell me, daughter Juliet, how stands your disposition to be married?
It is an honour that I dream not of.
An honour were not I thine only nurse, I would say thou hast sucked wisdom from thy teat.
Well, think of marriage now. Younger than you, here in Verona, ladies of esteem are made already mothers. By my count, I was your mother much upon these years that you are now a maid. Thus then in brief, the valiant Paris seeks you for his love.
Oh, a man, young lady. Oh, lady, such a man as all the world. Why, he is a man of wax.
Verona's summer hath not such a flower.
Nay, he's a flower in faith. A very flower.
What say you? Can you love the gentleman? This night you shall behold him at our feast. Read o'er the volume of young Paris' face and find delight writ there with beauty's pen. This precious book of love, this unbound lover, to beautify him only lacks a cover. That book in many's eyes doth share the glory, that in gold clasps locks in the golden story. So shall you share all that he doth possess, by having him making yourself no less.
No less, nay, bigger. Women grow by men.
Speak briefly. Can you like of Paris love?
I'll look to like if looking liking move, but no more deep will I endart mine eye than your consent gives strength to make it fly.
Madam, the guests are come, supper served up, you called, my young lady asked for, the nurse cursed in the pantry, and everything in extremity. I must hence to wait. I beseech you, follow straight.
We follow thee. Juliet, the county stays.
Go, girl. Seek happy nights to happy days.
Exeunt. Act 1, Scene 4, Verona, a street. Enter Romeo, Mercutio, Benvolio.
What? Shall this speech be spoke for our excuse, or shall we on without apology?
The day is out of such prolixity, but let them measure us by what they will. We'll measure them a measure and be gone.
Give me a torch. I am not for this ambling, being but heavy, I will bear the light.
Here, gentle Romeo, we must have you.
Not I, believe me. You have dancing shoes with nimble soles. I have a soul of lead, so stakes me to the ground. I cannot move.
You are a lover. Borrow Cupid's wings and soar with them above the common bound.
I am too sore impierced with his shaft to soar with his light feathers, and so bound I cannot bound a pitch above dull woe. Under love's heavy burden do I sink.
And to sink in it, you should burden love. Too great oppression for a tender thing.
Is love a tender thing? It is too rough, too rude, too boisterous, and it pricks like a thorn.
If love be rough with you, be rough with love. Prick love for pricking and you beat it down. Give me a kiss to put my visage in.
Come knock and enter, and no sooner in, but every man betake him to his legs.
Yeah, I'll be a candle holder, and look on, the game was ne'er so fair, and I am done.
Come, we burn daylight all.
Nay, that's not so.
So in delay, we waste our lights like lights by day.
And we mean well in going to this mask, but 'tis no whit to go.
Why, may one ask?
I dreamt a dream tonight.
Nor did I.
Well, what was yours?
The dreamers often lie.
They're asleep while they do dream things true.
Oh, then I see Queen Mab hath been with you. She is the fairies' midwife, and she comes in shape no bigger than an agate stone on the forefinger of an alderman, drawn with a team of little atomi o'er men's noses as they lie asleep. Her chariot is the empty hazelnut made by the joiner squirrel, or old grub. Time out of mind, the fairies' coachmakers, her wagon spokes, made of long spinners' legs, the cover of the wings of grasshoppers, her traces, the smallest spider's web, her colours of the moonshine's watery beams, her whip of cricket's bone, the lash of film. Her wagoner, a small, grey-coated gnat, not half so big as a round little worm pricked from the lazy finger of a maid. And in this state, she gallops night by night through lovers' brains, and then they dream of love. Or courtiers' knees that dream on curtsies straight, or lawyers' fingers who straight on dream of fees, or ladies' lips who straight on kisses dream, which off the angry mab with blisters plagues, because their breaths with sweetmeats tainted are. Sometimes she gallops o'er a courtier's nose, and then dreams he of smelling out a suit. And sometime comes she with a tithe pig's tail, tickling the parson's nose as he lies asleep. Then dreams he of another benefice. Sometimes she driveth o'er a soldier's neck. Then dreams he of cutting foreign throats, of breeches, ambuscados, Spanish blades, of healths 5 fathom deep, and then anon drums in his ear, at which he starts and wakes, and thus being frightened swears a prayer or two and sleeps again. This is that very mab that plats the manes of horses in the night, and bakes the elf-locks in foul sluttish hairs, which once untangled much misfortune bodes. This is that hag, when maids lie on their backs, that presses them and makes them women of good carriage. This is she.
Peace, peace, Mercutio, peace. Thou talkst of nothing.
No, I talk of dreams, which are the children of an idle brain, begot of nothing but vain fantasy, which is as thin as the substance's air, more inconstant than the wind.
This wind you talk of blows us from ourselves. Supper is done, and we will come too late.
I fear too early, for my mind misgives some consequence, yet hanging in the stars shall bitterly begin his fearful date with this night's revels, and expire the term of a despised life, closed in my breast by some vile forfeit of untimely death. But he that hath the steerage of my course direct my sail. On, lusty gentlemen!
Strike drum!
Exeunt. Act 1, Scene 5. Verona, a hall in Capulet's house. Servingmen come forth with napkins.
Where's pot pan that he helps not to take away? He shift a trencher, he scrape a trencher.
When good manners shall lie all in 1 or 2 men's hands, and they unwashed too, 'tis a foul thing.
Ooh, good thou, save me a piece of marchpane. Oh, and as thou loves me, let the porter let in Susan, Grindstone, and Nell. Pot pan!
Aye, boy, ready.
You are looked for and called for, asked for and sought for in the great chamber.
I cannot be here and there too. Cheerly, be brisk a while, and the longer liver take all.
Come, gentlemen! Ladies that have their toes unplagued with corns will walk about with you. My mistresses, which of you all will now deny to dance? She that makes dainty, she, I'll swear, hath corns. Might come near ye now. You are welcome, gentlemen. Come, musicians, play! Oh, more light, you knaves, and turn the tables up and quench the fire. The room has grown too hot.
What lady's that which doth enrich the hand of yonder knight?
I know not, sir.
Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. So shows a snowy dove trooping with crows, as yonder lady o'er her fellow shows. The measure done, I'll watch her place of stand, and touching hers make blessed my rude hand. Did my heart love till now? Oh, forswear it, sight, for I ne'er saw true beauty till this night.
This by his voice should be a Montague. Fetch me my rapier, boy. What? There's the slave come hither, covered with an antic face, to fleer and scorn at our solemnity. Now, by the stock and honour of my kin, to strike him dead, I hold it not a sin.
Why now, kinsman, wherefore storm you so?
Uncle, this is a Montague our foe, a villain that is hither come in spite, to scorn at our solemnity this night.
Young Romeo, is it?
'Tis he, that villain Romeo.
Oh, content thee, gentle coz, let him alone. Bears him like a portly gentleman. And to say truth, Verona brags of him to be a virtuous and well-governed youth. I would not, for the wealth of all this town here in my house, do him disparagement. Therefore be patient, take no note of him. It is my will, the which, if thou respect, show a fair presence and put off these frowns. An ill-beseeming semblance for a feast.
Fit for such a villain as a guest. I'll not endure him.
He shall be endured. What, goodman boy? I say he shall. Go to. Am I the master here or you? Go to. You'll not endure him. God shall mend my soul. You'll make a mutiny among my guests. You will set cock a hoop. You'll be the man.
Why, uncle, 'tis a shame.
Go to, go to. You're a saucy boy. Is it so indeed? This trick may chance to scathe you. I know what. You must contrary me. Marry, 'tis time. Well said, my hearts. You are a princox. Go, be quiet, or more light, more light. For shame, I'll make you quiet. What? Chile, my hearts.
Patience perforce with wilful choler meeting makes my flesh tremble in their different greeting. I will withdraw, but this intrusion shall, now seeming sweet, convert to bitterest gall.
If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle sin is this: my lips, two blushing pilgrims, ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss.
Good pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much, which mannerly devotion shows in this. For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss.
Have not saints lips and holy palmers too?
Aye, pilgrim, lips that they must use in prayer.
Oh, then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray. Grant thou lest faith turn to despair.
Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake.
Then move not while my prayer's effect I take. Thus from my lips by thine my sin is purged.
And have my lips the sin that they have took?
Sin from my lips, oh sweetly urged, give me my sin again.
You kissed by the book.
Madam, your mother craves a word with you.
What is the mother?
Mary Bachelor. Her mother is the lady of the house, and a good lady, and wise and virtuous. I nursed her daughter that you talked withal. I tell you, he that can lay hold of her shall have the chinks.
Is she a Capulet? Oh, dear account, my life is my foe's debt.
Away, be gone. The sport is at its best.
Aye, so I fear the more is my unrest.
Hither, nurse. What is yon gentleman?
Oh, the son and heir of old Tiberio.
What's he that now is going out of door?
Mary, I think be young Petruchio.
What's he that follows here and would not dance?
I know not.
Do ask his name. If he be married, my grave is like to be my wedding bed.
His name is Romeo, and a Montague, the only son of your great enemy.
My only love sprung from my only hate. Too early seen unknown, and known too late. Oh, prodigious birth of love it is to me that I must love a loathed enemy.
What is?
A rhyme I learnt even now of one I danced withal.
Juliet!
Anon, come, let's away. The strangers all are gone.
Exeunt. Act 2, Prologue. Enter Chorus.
Now, old desire doth in his deathbed lie, and young affection gapes to be his heir. That fair for which love groaned for and would die, with tender Juliet matched, is now not fair. Now Romeo is beloved and loves again, alike bewitched by the charm of looks, but to his foe supposed he must complain, and she still loves sweet bait from fearful hooks. Being held a foe, he may not have access to breathe such vows as lovers used to swear, and she as much in love, her means much less to meet her new beloved anywhere. But passion lends them power, time means to meet, tempering extremities with extreme sweet.
Exit. Act 2, Scene 1. A lane by the wall of Capulet's orchard. Enter Romeo alone.
Can I go forward when my heart is here? Turn back, dull earth, and find thy centre out.
Romeo! My cousin, Romeo!
Yes, what? And all my life has stolen him home to bed.
You ran this way and leapt this orchard wall. Call, good Mercutio.
Nay, I'll conjure too. Romeo! Humour! Madman, passion, lover, appear thou in the likeness of a sigh. Speak but one rhyme, and I am satisfied. Cry but, oh, I me. Pronounce but love and dove. Speak to my gossip Venus one fair word. He heareth not, he stirreth not, he moveth not. The ape is dead. I must conjure him. I conjure thee by Rosalind's bright eyes, by her high forehead and her scarlet lip, by her fine foot, straight leg, and quivering thigh, and the domains that there adjacent lie. That in thy likeness thou appear to us.
And if he hear thee, thou wilt anger him.
Cannot anger him. 'Twould anger him to raise a spirit in his mistress' circle of some strange nature, and it stand till she had laid it and conjured it down. That was some spite. My case is fair and honest. In his mistress' name, I conjure only but to raise him up.
Come, he hath hid himself among these trees to be consorted with the humorous night. Blind is his love, and best befits the dark.
If love be blind, love cannot hit the mark. Romeo, good night. I'll to my truckle bed. This field bed's too cold for me to sleep. Come, shall we go?
Go then, for 'tis in vain to seek him here that means not to be found.
Exit with Mercutio. Act 2, Scene 2, Capulet's Orchard. Romeo advances.
He jests at scars that never felt a wound. But soft. What light through yonder window breaks? Oh, it is the east. And Juliet is the sun. Oh, rise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off! It is my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all the heaven, having some business, do entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars as daylight doth a lamp. Her eyes in heaven would through the airy region stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. You see how she leans her cheek upon her hand? Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek.
Ay me!
He speaks! Oh, speak again, bright angel, for thou art as glorious to this night, being o'er my head, as is a winged messenger of heaven, unto the white upturned wandering eyes of mortals that fall back to gaze on him, when he bestrides the lazy puffing clouds and sails upon the bosom of the air.
Oh, Romeo! Romeo! Wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name. Or, if that will not but be sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this?
Not thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not Montague. What's Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name! What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other word was smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Ah, Romeo doth thy name, and for thy name, which is no part of thee, take all myself.
Take this! My word! Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth, I will never be a Romeo.
What man art thou that thus bescreened at night so stumblest on my counsel?
Thy name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word.
My ears have yet not drunk 100 words of thy tongue's utterings, yet I know the sound. Art thou no Romeo? And a Montague?
Neither, fair maid, if either thee dislike.
How camest thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and the place death, considering who thou art. Oh, if any of my kinsmen find me here.
With love like wings did I o'erperch these walls, for stony limits cannot hold love out. And what love can do that dares love attempt, therefore my kinsmen are no stop to me.
If they do see thee, they will murder thee.
Alack, there lies more peril in thine eye than 20 of their swords. Look thou but sweet, and I am proof against their enmity.
Oh, I would not for the world they saw thee here.
I have knights cloaked to hide me from their eyes, but thou but love me, let them find me here. My love were better ended by their hate than death prorogued, wanting of thy love.
By whose direction foundst thou out this place?
By Love that first did prompt me to inquire. He lent me counsel and I lent him eyes. I am no pilot, yet wert thou as far as that vast shore washed with the farthest sea, I should adventure for such merchandise.
Thou knowest the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush bepaint my cheek for that which thou hast heard me speak tonight. Fain would I dwell on form, fain deny what I have spoke, but farewell compliment. Dost thou love me?
Yeah.
I know thou wilt take I, and I will take thy word, yet if thou swearest thou mayest prove false at lovers' perjuries, they say Jove laughs. O gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully, or if thou thinkest I am too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse and say thee nay, so thou will woo, but else not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond, and therefore mayst think my haviour light, but trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those that have more cunning to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess, but thou overheardst ere I was ware my true love passion, therefore pardon me, and not impute this yielding to light love which the dark night hath discovered.
Lady, by yonder blessed moon, I vow that tipped with silver all these fruit trees.
Where not like the moon? The inconstant moon that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable.
What shall I swear by?
Do not swear at all, or, if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, which is the God of my idolatry, and I'll believe thee.
If my heart's dear love...
I do not swear. Although I joy in thee, I have no joy of this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning which doth cease to be ere one can say it lightens. Oh, sweet, good night. This bud of love by summer's ripening breath may prove a beauteous flower when we next meet. Good night. Good night, a sweet repose and rest come to thy heart as that within my breast.
Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
I gave you mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would it were to give again.
Oh, wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
To be frank and give it thee again. And yet I wish but for the thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love as deep, and more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite.
Juliet!
Oh, I hear some noise within. Dear love, adieu. Anon, good nurse! Sweet Montague, be true. Stay but a little while. I'll come again.
Oh, blessed, blessed night. I am afeard, being in night, all this is but a dream. Too flattering sweet to be substantial.
3 words, dear Romeo, and good night indeed. If that thy bent of love be honourable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow by 1 that I'll procure to come thee. Where and what time thou wilt perform the rite, and all my fortunes at thy foot I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world.
Madam!
I come anon! But if thou meanest not well, I do beseech thee.
Madam!
By and by I come! To cease thy strife and leave me to my grief. Tomorrow will I send.
So thrive my soul.
1,000 times good night.
1,000 times the worse to want thy light. Love goes toward love as schoolboys from their books, but love from love towards school with heavy looks.
Romeo! Romeo! What o'clock shall I send to thee?
By the hour of 9.
I will not fail. 'Tis 20 years till then. I have forgot why I did call thee back.
Let me stand here till thou remember it.
I shall forget to have thee still stand there, remembering how I love thy company. Good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow. Sleep dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast.
Would I were sleep and peace so sweet to rest! Hence, will I to my ghostly friar's close cell, his help to crave and my dear hap to hell.
Exit. Act 2, Scene 3. Friar Lawrence's cell. Enter Friar Lawrence alone with a basket.
Now here the sun advances, burning eye, the day to cheer, the night's dank dew to dry. I must upfill this austere cage of ours with the baleful weeds and precious juiced flowers. The earth, that's nature's mother, is her tomb. What is her burying grave? That is her womb. And from her womb, children of divers kind, who sucking her natural bosom find many for many virtues. Excellent. None but for some, and yet all different. Oh, mickle is the powerful grace that lies in plants, herbs, stones, and their truths. Not so vile that on the earth doth live, but to the earth some special good doth give. Virtue itself to vice, being misapplied, and vice sometime by action dignified. Within this infant rind of this weak flower, poison hath residence and medicine power. For this, being smelt with that part, cheers each part, being tasted, stays all senses with the heart. Two such opposed kings encamp them still, in man as well as herbs, grace and rude will, and where the worser is predominant, full soon death eats up that plant.
Good morrow, Father.
What early tongue so sweet saluteth me? Young son, it argues a distempered head so soon to bid morrow to thy bed. Care keeps his watch in every old man's eye, and where care lodges, sleep will never die. But where unbruised youth with unstuffed brain doth couch his limbs, their golden sleep doth reign. Therefore, thy earliness doth me assure thou art uproused with some distemperature. Or, if not so, then here, I hit it right. Our Romeo hath not been in bed tonight.
That last is true. The sweeter rest was mine.
Oh, pardon, Sim, was thou with Rosaline?
With Rosaline? My ghostly father, no, I have forgot that name and that name's wife.
That's my good son, but where hast thou been then?
I'll tell thee ere thou ask it me again. I have been feasting with mine enemy, where on a sudden one hath wounded me that's by me wounded. Both are remedies within thy help and holy physic lies.
Plain, good son, and homely in thy drift. Riddling confession finds but riddling shrift.
Then plainly no, but my heart's dear love is set on the fair daughter of rich Capulet. As mine on hers, so hers is set on mine, and all combined, save what thou must combine by holy marriage. When and where and how we met, we wooed and made exchange of vow. I'll tell thee as we pass, but this I pray that thou consent to marry us today.
Holy Saint Francis! What a change is here! Is Rosaline that thou didst love so dear, so soon forsaken? Young men's love then lies not truly in their hearts, but in their eyes. A deal of brine hath washed thy sallow cheeks for Rosaline. How much salt water thrown away in waste to season love, that of it doth not taste? Lo, here on thy cheek the stain doth sit of an old tear that is not washed off yet. The fear thou wast thyself, and their woes thine, thou and these woes were all for Rosaline.
Thou chides me oft for loving Rosaline.
Doting, not for loving, pupil mine.
And base me bury love.
Not brave to lay one in, another out to have.
I pray thee, chide me not. Her I love now, doth grace for grace, and love for love allow. The other did not so.
Oh, she knew well I love did read by rote that could not spell. But, come, young waverer, come. Go with me. In one respect, I'll thy assistant be, for this lion so happy proved to turn your household rancour to pure love.
Oh, let us hence, I stand on sudden haste.
Wisely and slow, they stumble that run fast.
Exeunt. Act 2, Scene 4. Verona, a street. Enter Benvolio and Mercutio.
Where is that Romeo? Came he not home tonight?
Not to his father. I spoke with his man.
That same pale, hard-hearted wench, that Rosaline, torments him so that he shall sure run mad.
Tybalt, the kinsman to old Capulet, had sent a letter to his father's house.
Oh, a challenge on my life.
Romeo will answer it.
Any man that write a letter may read a letter.
No, he will answer the letter's master, how he dares, being dead.
Alas, poor Romeo, he is already dead. Stabbed with a white wench's black eye, run through the air with a love song, the very pin of his heart cleft with a blind boar boy's butt shaft. And he's a man to encounter Tybalt.
Why, what is Tybalt?
More than Prince of Cats. Oh, he's the courageous captain of compliments. He fights as you sing prick song. He keeps time, distance, proportion. He rests, his minimum rests, 1, 2, and a third in your bosom. The very butcher of a silk button, a duellist, a gentleman of the very first house, of the first and second cause. Oh, the immortal passado, the punto reverso, the habatier.
The what?
He is a very good blade, a very tall man, a very good whore. Is this not a lamentable thing, grandsire, that we should be thus afflicted with these strange flies, these fashion mongers, these pardon me's, who can stand so much on the new form that they cannot sit at ease on their old bench? Oh, their bones, their bones.
It was Romeo. It comes Romeo!
Yet without his roll, like a dried herring. Oh, flesh, art thou art fishified? Signor Romeo, bonjour, is a French salutation to your French slop. You gave us the counterfeit fairly last night.
Good morrow to you both. What counterfeit did I give you?
Slip, sir, the slip. Can you not conceive?
Pardon, good Mercutio, my business was great, and in such a case as mine, a man may strain courtesy.
That's as much as to say such a case as yours constrains a man to bow in the hand.
Meaning to courtesy.
Thou hast most kindly hit it.
A most courteous exposition.
Oh, I'm the very pink of courtesy.
Pink for flower. Why then is my pump well flowered?
Do it. Follow me. Yes. Till thou hast worn out thy pump, that when the single soul of it is worn, the jest may remain, after the wearing, solely singular.
Oh, single soul jest, solely singular for the singleness.
Come between us, good Benvolio, my wits faint. Why is this not better than groaning for love? Now thou art sociable, now thou art Romeo, now thou art what thou art, by art as well as by nature, for this drivelling love, oh, love, it's like a great natural that runs, lolling up and down to hide his bauble in a hole.
Stop there.
Desirest me to stop in my tail against the hair?
Thou wouldst else have made thy tail large.
Thou art deceived. I would have made it short, for I was come to the whole depth of my tale, and meant indeed to occupy the argument no longer.
Here's goodly gear.
Good morrow, gentlemen.
Good and fair gentlewoman.
And is it good done?
It's no less, I tell thee, for the bawdy hand of the dial is now upon the prick of noon.
Out upon you, what a man are you?
One gentleman that Goth have made himself to mar.
Gentlemen, can any of you tell me where I might find the young Romeo?
I can tell you, but young Romeo will be older when you have found him than he was when you sought him. I am the youngest of that name, for fault of a worse.
If you be he, sir, I desire some confidence with you.
She will indict him to some supper.
Aboard, so. Romeo, will you come to your father's? We'll to dinner thither.
I will follow you.
Farewell. Farewell. ancient lady. Lady.
I pray you, sir, what saucy merchant was this that was so full of his ropery?
A gentleman, nurse, that loves to hear himself talk, and will speak more in a minute than he will to stand to in a month.
And he speak anything against me, I'll take him down, and he were lustier than he is, and 20 such jacks. And if I cannot, I'll find those that shall. Scurvy knave. I am none of his flirt gills. I am none of his skein mates. Now, afore God, I am so vexed that every part about me quivers. Scurvy knave. Pray you, sir, a word, and as I told you, my young lady bid me inquire you out. What she bid me say, I will keep to myself, but first let me tell you, if you shall lead her in a fool's paradise, as they say, it were a very gross kind of behavior, as they say, for the gentlewoman is young, and therefore, if you should deal double with her, truly, it were an ill thing to be offered to any gentlewoman, and very weak dealing.
Nurse, commend me to thy lady and mistress. I protest unto thee.
Oh, good heart, and in faith I will tell her as much, Lord, she will be a joyful woman.
What wilt thou tell her? Nurse, thou dost not mark me.
I will tell her, sir, that you do protest, which, as I take it, is a gentlemanlike offer.
Bid her devise some means to come to Shrift this afternoon, and there she shall at Friar Lawrence's cell be shrived and married. Here is for thy pains.
Oh, sir, truly not a penny.
Oh, too, I say you shall.
This afternoon, sir? Well, she shall be there.
And stay, good nurse. Behind the abbey wall, within this hour, my man shall be with thee, and bring thee cords made like a tackled stair, which to the high top gallant of my joy must be my convoy in the secret night. Farewell, be trusty, and I'll quit thy pains. Oh, farewell, commend me to thy mistress.
Aye, 1,000 times.
Exeunt. Act 2, Scene 5, Capulet's Orchard. Enter Juliet.
The clock struck 9 when I did send the nurse. In half an hour she promised to return. Perchance she cannot meet him. That's not so. Oh, she is lame. Love's herald should be thoughts which 10 times faster glides than the sun's speed beams. Now is the sun upon the highmost hill of this day's journey, and from 9 till 12 is 3 long hours, yet she is not come. Had she affections and warm youthful blood, she would be as swift in motion as a ball. My words would bandy her to my sweet love, and his to me. But old folks, many feign as they were dead, unwieldy, slow, heavy, and pale as lead. Oh God, she comes. Oh, honey nurse, what news? Now, good sweet nurse, oh Lord, why lookest thou sad? Thou news be sad, yet tell them merrily. If good, thou shamest the music of sweet news by playing it to me with so sour a face.
I am a weary, give me leave a while. How my bones ache, what a jaunts have I.
I would thou hadst my bones, and I thy news. Nay, come, I pray thee speak. Good nurse, speak.
Jesu, what haste, can you not stay a while? Do you not see that I am out of breath?
How art thou out of breath when thou hast breath to say to me that thou art out of breath? The excuse that thou dost make in this delay is longer than the tale thou dost excuse. Is thy news good or bad? Answer to that.
Well, you have made a simple choice. You know not how to choose a man. Romeo. No, not he. Though his face be better than any man's, yet his leg excels all men's. And for a hand and a foot and a body, though they be not talked on, yet they are past compare. He is not the flower of courtesy, but I'll warrant him as gentle as a lamb. What, have you dined at home?
No, but all this I did know before. What says he of our marriage? What of that?
Lord, how my head aches! What a head have I! It beats as it would fall in 20 pieces. Oh.
My faith, I am so sorry thou art not well. Sweet nurse. Tell me, what says my love?
Your love says, like an honest gentleman, and a courteous, and a kind, and a handsome, and I warrant a virtuous... Oh, where's your mother?
Where is my mother? Why, she is within... Where should she... How oddly thou repliest! Your love says, like an honest gentleman, where is your mother?
Oh, God's lady dear, are you so hot? Marry, come up, I trow. Henceforward, do your messages yourself.
Oh, here's such a coil. Come, what says Romeo?
Have you got leave to go to shrift today?
I have.
Then, hie you hence to Friar Lawrence's cell. There stands a husband to make you a wife. Hie you to church, I must another way, to fetch a ladder by the which your love must climb a bird's nest soon when it is dark. I am the drudge and toil in your delight, but you shall bear the burden soon at night. Go, all to dinner, hie you to the cell.
Hie to high fortune! Oh. Honest nurse. Farewell. Mwah.
Exeunt. Act 2, Scene 6. Friar Lawrence's cell. Enter Friar Lawrence and Romeo.
So smile the heavens upon this holy act that after hours with sorrow chide us not.
Amen, amen. But come what sorrow can, do thou but close our hands with holy words. Then love devouring death, do what he dare. It is enough that I may call her mine.
These violent delights have violent ends, and in their triumph die like fire and powder, which as they kiss, consume. The sweetest honey is loathsome in his own deliciousness, and in the taste confounds the appetite. Therefore, love moderately. Long love doth so, too swift arrives as tardy as too slow. Here comes the lady. I'm so light of foot would never out the everlasting flint.
Good even to my ghostly confessor.
Romeo shall thank thee, daughter, for us both.
As much to him as is his thanks too much.
Oh, Juliet, if the measure of thy joy be heaped like mine, and that thy skill be more to blazon it, then sweeten with thy breath this neighbour air, and let rich music's tongue unfold the imagined happiness that both receive in either by this dear encounter.
They are but beggars that can count their worth. My true love is grown to such excess, I cannot sum up some of half my wealth.
Come with me, and we will make short work. For by thy leaves you shall not stay alone till Holy Church incorporate 2 in 1.
Exeunt. Act 3, Scene 1. Verona, a street. Enter Mercutio, Benvolio, and men.
Pray thee, good Mercutio, let's retire. The day is hot, the capels are abroad, and if we meet, we shall not scape a brawl. For now, these hot days, is the mad blood stirring?
Now, I'd like one of those fellows that, when he enters the confines of a tavern, claps his sword upon the table, says, God send me no need of thee, and by the operation of the second cup, draws him on the drawer when indeed there is no need.
Am I like such a fellow?
Thou wilt quarrel with a man that hath a hair more or a hair less in his beard than thou hast. Thou hast quarrelled with a man for coughing in the street because he has wakened thy dog that has lain asleep in the sun. Didst thou not fall out with a tailor for wearing his new doublet before Easter? For tying his new shoes with old riband? And yet thou wilt tutor me from quarrelling.
By my head, here come the Capulets.
By my heel, I care not.
Gentlemen, good then, a word with one of you.
And but one word with one of us. Couple it with something, make it a word and a blow.
You shall find me apt enough to that, sir, if you will give me occasion.
Could you not take some occasion without giving?
Mercutio, thou consortest with Romeo.
Consort? What? Dost thou make us minstrels? And thou make minstrels of us look to hear nothing but discords. Here's my fiddlestick. Here's that shall make you dance. Sounds consort.
We talk here in the public haunt of men. Either withdraw unto some private place, or reason coldly of your grievances, or else depart. Here all eyes gaze on us.
Men's eyes were made to look, and let them gaze. I will push for no man's pleasure eye.
Well, peace be with you, sir. Here comes my man. Romeo, the love I bear thee can afford no better term than this. Thou art a villain.
Tybalt, the reason that I have to love thee doth much excuse the apperturning rage to such a greeting. Villain am I none. Therefore farewell. I see thou knowest me not.
Boy, this shall not excuse the injuries that thou hast done me, therefore turn and draw.
I do protest I never injured thee, but love thee better than thou canst devise, till thou shalt know the reason of my love, and so, good Capulet, which name I tender as dearly as mine own, be satisfied.
Oh, come! Dishonourable, vile submission! Alice the cart that carries it away! Tybalt, you rat catcher, will you walk?
What wouldst thou have with me?
Oh, good king of cats, nothing but one of your 9 lives that I make bold withal, and as you shall see me hereafter, dry beat the rest of the 8.
I am for you.
Gentle Mercutio, put thy rapier up!
Come, sir, your passado.
Draw! Benvolio, beat down their weapons! Gentlemen, for shame, forbear this pain! Mercutio, the prince expressly hath forbid this badgering in Verona street! Oh! Tybalt, Mercutio!
I'm sped. Is he gone? Enough, nothing.
What art thou hurt?
Aye, a scratch. To scratch, Murray, 'tis enough.
Bridge, man, the hurt cannot be much.
No, 'tis not so deep as a well, nor so wide as a church door, but 'tis enough. 'Twill serve. Ask me tomorrow and you will find me a grave man. I am penned, I warrant, for this world. Plague of both your houses! Sounds a dog, a rat, a mouse, a cat to scratch a man to death. A braggart, a rogue, a villain that fights by the book of arithmetic. Why the devil came you between us? I was hurt under your arm.
I thought all for the best.
Help me into some house, Benvolio, I shall bid. A plague on both your houses. They have made worms meat of me. I have it, and soundly too. Your houses.
This gentleman, the prince's near ally, my very friend, hath got this mortal hurt in my behalf. My reputation stained with Tybalt's slander. Tybalt, that an hour hath been my cousin. Oh, sweet Juliet, thy beauty hath made me effeminate, and in thy temper softened valour's steel.
Oh, Romeo, brave Mercutio is dead. That gallant spirit hath aspired the clouds, which too untimely here did scorn the earth.
The day's black fate on more days doth depend. This but begins the woes others must end.
Here comes the furious Tybalt back again.
Again in triumph, and Mercutio slain. Away to heaven, respective lenity and fire-eyed fury be my conduct now. Now, Tybalt, take the villain back again that late thou gavest me. For Mercutio's soul is but a little way above our heads, staying for thine to keep him company. Either thou, or I, or both, must go with him.
Thou, wretched boy. that this consortum here shall with him hence.
This shall determine that!
Romeo, away, be gone! Citizens are up, and Tybalt slain. And not amazed, the prince will doom thee death if thou be taken. Hence be gone, away.
Oh, fortune's fall!
Where dost thou stay?
Which way ran he that killed MERCUTIO? Tybalt, that murderer, which way ran he?
There lies that Tybalt.
Up, sir, go with me. I charge thee in the priest's name, obey.
Where are the vile beginners of this fray?
O noble prince, I can discover all the unlucky manage of this fatal brawl. There lies the man slain by young Romeo that slew thy kinsman, brave MERCUTIO.
Tybalt, my cousin. Oh, my brother's child. Oh, prince. Oh, husband. Oh, the blood is spilled of my dear kinsman. Prince, as thou art true, for blood of ours shed blood of Montague.
BENVOLIO, who began this bloody fray?
Tybalt, here slain, whom Romeo's hand did slay. Romeo that spoke him fair, bid him bethink how nice the quarrel was, and urged with all your high displeasure. All this uttered with gentle breath, calm look, knees humbly bowed, could not take truce with the unruly spleen of Tybalt, deaf to peace, but that he tilts with piercing steel at bold MERCUTIO's breast, who all as hot turns deadly point to point, and with a martial scorn, with one hand beats cold death aside, and with the other sends it back to Tybalt, whose dexterity retorts it. Romeo, he cries aloud, "Hold, friends, friends, part!" And swifter than his tongue, his agile arm beats down their fatal points, and twixt them rushes, underneath whose arm an envious thrust from Tybalt hit the life of stout MERCUTIO, and then Tybalt fled. But by and by comes back to Romeo, who had but newly entertained revenge, and to it they go like lightning, for I could draw to part them was stout Tybalt slain, and as he fell did Romeo turn and fly. This is the truth, or let BENVOLIO die.
He is a kinsman to the Montague. Affection makes him false. He speaks not true. Some 20 of them fought in this black strife, and all those 20 could but kill one life. I beg for justice, which thou, prince, must give. Romeo slew Tybalt. Romeo must not live.
Romeo slew him, he slew MERCUTIO. Who now the price of his dear blood doth owe?
Not Romeo, prince, he was MERCUTIO's friend. His fault concludes but what the law should end, the life of Tybalt.
And for that offence, immediately do we exile him hence. I will be deaf to pleading and excuses, nor tears, nor prayers shall purchase out abuses. Therefore use none. Let Romeo hence in haste, else when he's found, that hour is his last.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our interval. Thank you so much. You now have 5 minutes to refresh yourselves, refresh your drinks, make sure that you are ready to commence with the second half in approximately 5 minutes' time. That's 8:35 in BST. Thank you so much. That's 5 minutes. Sarah, if you'd like to join me, that would be wonderful. And also, Annabelle, I believe you're still on the call. If you'd like to join us at this time, that would be wonderful.
Hello, it's not letting me on.
Okay, I think we might need Emily to give you permission to start your video. Yeah, we'll just work on that. Oh, there we are. There you are.
There we are.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. I thought we'd start off this interval with a question from our audience, from Joe Stevenson, a very learned Shakespearean, someone who I think you've been in the company of in our live chats before now. He'd like to know, do you think Shakespeare accurately portrays a 14-ish-year-old girl? And what parts do you think are especially apt, and what parts do you think might need a bit of tweaking?
Well, the scene, for instance, where the nurse is telling Juliet, you know, I'm tired, you know, all that. Juliet's impatience, yes, that is very well portrayed. That is just like real life. But also, I can't imagine doing some of the things Juliet does, for instance, falling in love. That's just something I've never experienced. But overall, yeah, I think Shakespeare does portray a 14-year-old pretty well.
Awesome.
Obviously,
Thank you
she's
so much.
very clever. And we don't speak like that these days, but...
Yeah, absolutely. But it's one of those
beautiful.
things, isn't it? We talk about this when we're rehearsing. The idea that the characters themselves are imperfect speakers, and none of the characters are actually inherently poets, with the possible exception of a few that are consciously very intelligent. Thinking of the fools often that way, or also some of the malcontents. But certainly the characters in this play, I think, are driven to the extremes of language that they use by the stakes of the situations that they find themselves in, and by the strength of emotion. And it's really how much they feel for each other that drives that incredible language, which is always so thrilling to hear. Our cast today doing an absolutely incredible job of it. Really enjoying it. Got a quick question here. What is the thinking regarding place directions? Do you think they are helpful or even necessary? It's interesting, that question, because there's obviously the larger question of how much could those have mattered within the confines of the globe? How did they really show the audience that they were in these radically different spaces? There's a lot of very specific blocking inherent in this piece, which I think you've seen start to come out in the first half and will continue through the second half, which is perhaps more ambitious than any other play so far. And one of the joyful things for us is seeing how Shakespeare continues to innovate in his own work. So yes, I think they're definitely helpful as inspiration. I know there's a lot of kind of back and forth over whether there's a balcony in the balcony scene, because it says that it's an orchard, but obviously the Globe would have had a balcony and it would have had that raised area, so it does make sense for it to be used, and it's been immortalized obviously since then by the Zeffirelli version, which we went to on our honeymoon as well. We went to go and see the actual balcony, which was delightful. Wonderful. Sarah, do you have an update for us from Patreon?
I do, yes. So it is that time of the week again to say a huge thank you to all of our existing patrons. And we have a few new sign-ups this week that I would love to say a shout out to. So without further ado, so thank you to FRD, Jenny R, Tony W, Eleanor A, Brian E, Jill P, Jerry and Helen M, Amanda F, Denise Y and Richard P. So thank you so much to all of our new patrons. We hugely appreciate all of your generous donations, and thank you to everyone who has been supporting the project. It really does mean so much to everyone involved who are giving their time each week to hopefully entertain you all.
Absolutely. And obviously you can also choose, if you don't already, to donate to our Patreon at any time. There is a link in the description of this video, so please do check that out. While you're there, you can also like this video, subscribe to the channel, and please do tell your friends about it. Please get people to come and join you next week for A Midsummer Night's Dream. So we've got back-to-back bangers, ladies and gentlemen. That's 2 weeks of absolutely incredible plays. We're all hugely excited about next week's show, and I hope you are as well. So this is your 2-minute call, everyone. 2-minute call. I'll just call out a couple of things that the audience has wonderfully picked up on. I think Emily, one of our previous actors, pointed out the MERCUTIO Freddie Mercury connection. Well done. We've also had someone pulling out the Prince in Purple connection as well. Rockstar Shakespeare is one of the things that I kind of try and strive for whenever possible. and it's certainly coming out in this play. And boy, do we have some rock stars in this cast, and a tremendous job they're doing as well. So we've now got just 1 minute until the second half commences. So please do take your seats, get yourselves comfortable and strap in for the second half. Someone's asking, is TYBALT still breathing? No, is the answer. He definitely isn't. He is gone and shall ne'er return. Or maybe he will. You'll have to tune into the second half to find out. Wonderful. So if you haven't already, please do like and subscribe, and please share your reactions using the hashtag #ShowMustGoOnline on all forms of social media. Please do get people out there. Annabelle, are you looking forward to the second half?
Absolutely. I can't wait.
Wonderful. And out of interest, what is your favourite bit of the second half, do you think?
Oh, that is a very good question. Well, obviously the climax, that's a brilliant bit, you know, the deaths and everything, but I also love Juliet's soliloquy, you know, where she's going to take the potion. That's a beautiful bit. But that's really hard to answer, you know, your favourite bit. That's always a hard question.
Absolutely. And it changes every performance for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I always find new things that I like.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Annabelle. I hope you'll stick around for the post-show chat as well. It is now 35 minutes past 8, which means that the second half is about to commence. So if I can ask you both to please return to our tiring house, that would be wonderful, as tonight's second half of Romeo and Juliet commences. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy. Act 3, Scene 2, Capulet's Orchard. Enter Juliet alone.
Oh, gallop apace, you fiery-footed steed, towards Phoebus's lodging. Such a wagoner as Phaeton would whip you to the west, and bring in cloudy night immediately. Oh, spread thy close curtain, love performing night, that the runaway's eyes may wink, and Romeo leap to these arms untalked of and unseen. Oh, lovers can see to do their amorous rites by their own beauties, or, if love be blind, it best agrees with night. Oh, come, civil knight, thou sober-suited matron all in black, and learn me how to lose a winning match, played for a pair of stainless maidenhoods. Hood my unmanned blood bating in my cheeks with thy black mantle. Still strange love grows bold. Think true love acted simple modesty. Oh, come, night, come, Romeo, come, thou day in night. For thou wilt lie upon the wings of night, whiter than new snow upon a raven's back. Oh, come, gentle night, come, loving black-browed night, give me my Romeo. And when I shall die, take him and cut him out in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night, and pay no worship to the garish sun. Oh, I have bought the mansion of a love, but not possessed it. And though I am sold, not yet enjoyed. Oh, so tedious is this day, as is the night before some festival to an impatient child that hath new robes and may not wear them. Oh, here comes my nurse. And she brings news, and every tongue that speaks but Romeo's name speaks heavenly eloquence. Now, nurse, what news? What hast thou there? The cords that Romeo did thee fetch.
I, the cords.
Ay me, what news? Why dost thou wring thy hands?
Oh, where a day, he's dead. He's dead, he's dead. We are undone, lady, we are undone. Oh, heck the day, he's gone. He's killed. Dead.
You can heaven be envious.
Romeo can. Oh, heaven cannot. Oh, Romeo, whoever would have thought it? Romeo!
What devil art thou that thus torment me? This torture should be roared in dismal hell. Hath Romeo slain himself?
Say thou, but I, and that bare vowel I shall poison more than the death-darting eye of cockatrice. Oh, if he be slain, say I, or if not, no. Brief sounds determine my weal or woe.
I saw the wound. I saw it with mine eyes. God save the mark. I swooned at the sight.
Oh, break my heart, poor Frank Pake at once.
Oh, courteous Tybalt, honest gentleman, that ever I should live to see thee dead.
What storm is this that blows so contrary? Is Romeo slaughtered, and is Tybalt dead? My dearest cousin and my dearer lord.
Tybalt is gone, and Romeo banished. Romeo that killed him, he is banished.
Oh God, did Romeo's hand shed Tybalt's blood?
It did, alack the day it did.
Oh, servant heart, hid with a flowering face, beautiful tyrant, fiend angelical, was ever book containing such vile matter so fairly bound? Oh, that deceit should dwell in such a gorgeous place.
There's no trust, no faith, no honesty in men. All perjured, all forsworn, all naught, all dissemblers. Shame come to Romeo.
Listed be thy tongue for such a wish. He was not born to shame. Upon his brow shame is a shame to sit. For 'tis a throne where honor may be crowned, sole monarch of the universal earth. Oh, what a beast I was to chide at him.
Will you speak well of him that killed your cousin?
Shall I speak ill of him that is my husband? Oh, poor my lord, what tongue shall smooth thy name when I, thy 3 hours wife, have mangled it? Oh, but wherefore, villain, didst thou kill my husband? That villain cousin would have killed my husband. Oh, back, foolish tears, back to your native spring. Your tributary drops belong to woe, which you, mistaking, offer up to joy. My husband lives that Tybalt would have slain, and Tybalt's dead that would have slain my husband. All this is comfort, wherefore weep I then? Some word there was worser than Tybalt's death, that murdered me. I would forget it fain, but oh, it presses to my memory like damned guilty deeds to sinners' minds. Tybalt is dead and Romeo banished. That banished, that one word, banished, there is no end, no limit, measure, bound in that word's death. No words can that woe sound. Where is my father and my mother now?
Weeping and wailing over Tybalt's courts. Will you go to them? I will bring you hither.
Wash they his wounds with tears. Mine shall be spent when theirs are dry. For Romeo's banishment, take up those cords. Oh, to my wedding bed and death. Not Romeo, take my maiden head.
Hide to your chamber. I'll find Romeo to comfort you. I wot well where he is. Hark ye, your Romeo will be here at night. I'll to him. He is at Lawrence's cell.
Oh, find him. Give this ring to my true knight, and bid him come to take his last farewell.
Act 3, Scene 3, Friar Lawrence's cell. Enter Friar Lawrence.
Romeo, come forth, thou fearful man.
Father, what news? What is the prince's doom? What sorrow quaves acquaintance at my hand, yet I know not?
Too familiar is my dear son with such sour company. I bring thee tidings of the prince's doom.
What, less than doomsday is the prince's doom?
A gentler judgment vanished from his lips. Not body's death, but body's banishment.
Ha! Banishment! Be merciful, say death! For exile hath more terror in his look, much more than death. Do not say banishment.
Here from Verona art thou banished? Be patient, for the world is broad and wide.
There is no world without Verona walls, but purgatory, torture, hell itself. Hence banished is banished from the world.
Oh, deadly sin! Oh, rude unthankfulness! Thy fault our law caused death, but the kind prince taking thy part has rushed aside the law and turned that black word, death, to banishment. This is dear mercy, and thou seest not.
'Tis torture and not mercy. Heaven is here where Juliet lives, and every cat and dog and little mouse, every unworthy thing live here in heaven and may look on her, but Romeo may not. He is banished. Oh, friar, the damned use that word in hell, howling attends it. How hast thou the heart? Being a divine, a ghostly confessor, a sin absolver, and my friend profess to mangle me with the word banished.
Fond madman, hear me a little speak.
No, wilt thou speak again of banishment?
Well, I'll give thee armour to keep off that word. Adversity, sweet milk, philosophy to comfort thee, though thou art banished.
Get banished! Hang up philosophy! Unless philosophy can make a Juliet, displant a town, reverse a prince's doom, it helps not, it prevails not. Talk no more.
Oh, then I see that madmen have no ears.
Oh, how should they, when the wise men have no eyes?
Let me dispute with thee of thy estate.
Thou canst not speak of that thou dost not feel. Wert thou as young as I, Juliet thy love, an hour but married, Tybalt murdering, doting like me, and like me banished, then mightst thou speak, then mightst thou tear thy hair and fall upon the ground, as I do now, taking the measure of an unmade grave.
Arise! One knocks, good Romeo, hide thyself. How hard they knock. Who's there? Romeo, arise. That will be taken. Stay a while. Stand up. Run to my study. By and by, God's will. What simpleness is this? I come. I come. Who knocks so hard? Whence come you? What's your will?
Let me come in, and you shall know my errand. I come from Lady Juliet.
Welcome, then.
Oh, holy friar. Tell me, holy friar, where's my lady lord? Where's Romeo?
There, on the ground, with his own tears made drunk.
Oh, he is even in my mistress's case. Stand up! Stand up! Stand, and you be a man. For Juliet's sake, for her sake, rise and stand. Why should you fall into so deep an O?
Yes.
Oh, sir. Sir, death's the end of all.
Speaks thou of Juliet. How is it with her? Does she not think me an old murderer? Where is she? And how does she? And what says my concealed lady to our cancelled love?
She says nothing, sir, but weeps and weeps, and now falls on her bed, and then starts up, and Tybalt cries, and then on Romeo cries, and then down falls again.
As if that name, shot from the deadly level of a gun, did murder her, as that name's cursed hand murdered her kinsman. Oh, tell me, friar, tell me, in what vile part of this anatomy does my name lodge? Tell me that I may sack this hateful mansion!
Hold thy desperate hand! Art thou a man? Thy form cries out thou art. Thy tears are womanish. Thy wild acts denote the unreasonable fury of a beast. Hast thou slain Tybalt? Wilt thou slay thyself? And slay thy lady too that lives in thee? By doing damned hate upon thyself. What roused thee, man? My Juliet is alive. There art thou happy. Tybalt would kill thee, but thou slewest. Tybalt, there art thou happy. The law that threatened death becomes thy friend and turns into exile. There art thou happy. A pack of blessings light upon thy back. Happiness courts thee in her best array, but like a misbehaved and sullen wench, then pounce upon thy fortune and thy love. Take heed. Take heed, for such die miserable. Go. Get thee to thy love as was decreed, ascend her chamber hence and comfort her. But look thou stay not till the watch be set, for then thou canst not pass to Mantua, where thou shalt live till we can find a time to blaze your marriage, reconcile your friends, beg pardon of a prince, and call thee back with 20,000 times more joy than thou wentst forth in lamentation. Go before, nurse. Commend me to thy lady, and bid her hasten all the house to bed, which heavy sorrow makes them apt unto. Romeo is coming.
Oh, Lord, I could have stayed here all the night to hear good counsel. Oh, what learning is. My lord, I'll tell my lady you will come. Oh, here, sir, a ring she bid me give you, sir. Hie you, make haste, for it grows very late.
How well my comfort is revived by this.
Go hence. Good night. And here stands all your state. Either be gone before the watch is set, or by the break of day, disguised from hence, sojourn in Mantua. I'll find out your man, and he shall signify from time to time every good hap to you that chances here. Give me thy hand. 'Tis late. Farewell. Good night.
But that a joy past joy calls out on me. It were a grief so brief to part with thee. Farewell.
Act 3, Scene 4, a room in Capulet's house. Enter old Capulet, his wife, and Paris.
Things have fallen out, sir, so unluckily that we have had no time to move our daughter. Look you, she loved her kinsman Tybalt dearly, and so did I. Well, we were born to die. 'Tis very late, she'll not come down tonight. I promise you, but for your company, I would have been in bed an hour ago.
These times of woe afford no times to woo. Madam, good night. Commend me to your daughter.
I will, and know her mind early tomorrow. Tonight she's mewed up to her heaviness.
Sir Paris, I will make a desperate tender of my child's love. I think she will be ruled in all respects by me. Nay, more, I doubt it not. Wife, go to her ere you go to bed. Acquaint her here of my son Paris' love, and bid her marking me on Wednesday next. But soft, what day is this?
Monday, my lord.
Monday. Well, Wednesday is too soon. A Thursday, let it be. A Thursday, tell her. She shall be married to this noble earl. Will you be ready? Do you like this haste? We will keep no great ado, a friend or two, for hark you, Tybalt being slain so late, it may be thought we held him carelessly, being our kinsman, if we revel much. Therefore we'll have some half a dozen friends, and there an end. But what say you to Thursday?
My lord, I would that Thursday were tomorrow.
Well, get you gone. A Thursday be it then. Go you to Juliet ere you go to bed. Prepare her, wife, against this wedding day. Farewell, my lord. Light, to my chamber, ho! For me, it is so very late that we may call it early by and by. Good night.
Exeunt. Act 3, Scene 5, Capulet's orchard and Juliet's chamber. Enter Romeo and Juliet, aloft at the window.
Will thou be gone? It is not yet near day. It was the nightingale and not the lark that pierced the fearful hollow of thine ear. Nightly she sings on yon pomegranate tree. Believe me, love, it was the nightingale.
It was the lark, the herald of the morn, no nightingale. Look, love, what envious streaks do lace the severing clouds in yonder east. Night's candles are burnt out, and jocund day stands tiptoe on the misty mountain tops. I must be gone and live, or stay and die.
Not daylight, I know it I. It is some meteor that the sun exhaled to thee this night a torchbearer, and light thee on thy way to Mantua. Therefore stay yet, thou needst not to be gone.
Let me be ta'en. Let me be put to death. Come, death, and welcome. Juliet wills it so. How is my soul? Let's talk. It is not yet day.
It is. High heads be gone away. It is the lark that sings so out of tune, straining harsh discords and unpleasing sharps. Some say the lark makes sweet division. This doth not so, for she divideth us. Oh, now be gone. More light and light it grows.
More light and light, more dark and dark our woes.
Madam.
Nurse?
Madam, your lady mother is coming to your chamber. The day is broke. Be wary, look about.
Then window, let day in and let life out.
Farewell. Farewell. One kiss, and I'll descend.
Art thou gone so, love, lord, I, husband, friend? I must hear from thee every day in the hour, for in a minute there are many days. Oh, by this count I shall be many years ere I get behold my Romeo.
Farewell. I will omit no opportunity that may convey my greetings, love, to thee.
Oh, thinkest thou we shall ever meet again?
I doubt it not. And all these woes shall serve for sweet discourses in our time to come.
Oh God, I have an ill-divining soul. Methinks I see thee now, thou art below, as one dead in the bottom of a tomb. Either my eyesight fails, or thou lookest pale.
And trust me, love, my eyes so do you. Dry sorrow drinks our blood. Adieu, adieu.
Oh, fortune, all men call thee fickle. If thou art fickle, what dost thou with him that is renowned for faith? Be fickle, fortune, for then I hope thou wilt not keep him long, but send him back.
Ho, daughter, are you up?
Who is it that calls? It is my lady mother. Is she not down so late or up so early? What unaccustomed cause procures her hither?
Why, how now, Juliet?
Madam, I am not well.
Evermore weeping for your cousin's death? What, wilt thou wash him from his grave with tears? And if thou couldst not make him live. Therefore have done. Some grief shows much of love, but much of grief shows still some want of wit.
Yet let me weep for such a feeling loss.
So shall you feel the loss, but not the friend which you weep for.
Feeling so the loss, I cannot choose but ever weep the friend.
Well, girl, thou weepst not so much for his death as that the villain lives which slaughtered him.
What villain, madam?
That same villain, Romeo.
Villain, and he be many miles asunder. God pardon him, I do with all my heart, and yet no man like he doth grieve my heart.
That is because the traitor murderer lives.
Ay, madam, from the reach of these hands would none but I might venge my cousin's death.
We will have vengeance for it, fear thou not. Then weep no more. I'll send one in Mantua, where that same banished renegade doth live, shall give him such an unaccustomed dram that he shall soon keep Tybalt company. And then, I hope, thou wilt be satisfied.
Indeed, I never shall be satisfied with Romeo till I behold him dead. Is my poor heart so for a kinsman vexed?
Find thou the means, and I'll find such a man. But now I'll tell thee joyful tidings, girl.
And joy comes when in such a needy time. What are they, I beseech your ladyship?
Well, well, thou hast a careful father, child, one who, to put thee from thy heaviness, hath sorted out a sudden day of joy that thou expects not, nor I looked not for.
Madam, in happy time, what day is that?
Marry, my child, early next Thursday morn, the gallant, young, and noble gentleman, the county Paris at St. Peter's Church shall haply make thee their joyful bride.
Now by St. Peter's Church, and Peter too, he shall not make me there a joyful bride. I wonder at this haste that I must wed ere that should be husband comes to woo. I pray you tell my lord and father, madam, I will not marry yet. And when I do, I swear it shall be Romeo, whom you know I hate rather than Paris. Are these a news indeed?
Here comes your father. Tell him so yourself and see how he will take it at your hands.
Wow, now, a conduit girl, what still in tears, evermore showering. How now, wife, have you delivered to her our decree?
Aye, sir, but she will none. She gives you thanks. I would the fool were married to her grave.
Soft, take me with you, wife. How will she none? Does she not give us thanks? Is she not proud? Does she not count her blessed, unworthy as she is, that we have wrought so worthy a gentleman to be her bride?
Not proud you have, but thankful that you have. Proud can I never be of what I hate, but thankful even for hate that is meant love.
How, chopped logic, what is this? Proud, and I thank you not, and yet not proud, Mistress Minion you. No, thank me no thankings, nor proud me no prouds, but fettle your fine joints against Thursday next, to go with Paris to St. Peter's Church, where I will drag thee on a hurdle thither. Out your green sickness carrion! Out your baggage, you tallow face!
Why, what are you mad?
Good father, I beseech you, on my knees, hear me with patience, but to speak a word.
No, hang thee, young baggage, disobedient wretch! I tell thee what, get thee to church a Thursday, or never after look me in the face. Speak not, reply not, do not answer me. My fingers itch. Wife, we scarce thought us blessed that God had lent us but this only child, but now I see this one is one too much, and that we have a curse in having her out on her hilding.
God in heaven bless her. You are to blame, my lord, to rate her so.
Oh, why, my lady Wisdom? Hold your tongue. Good Prudence, smatter with your gossips, go.
May not one speak?
Peace, you mumbling fool. I say a gravity or a gossip's bowl, for here we need it not.
Oh, you are too hot.
God's bread, it makes me mad. Day, night, work, play, alone, in company, still my care hath been to have her matched. And having now provided a gentleman of noble parentage, of fair domains, youthful, nobly lined, stuffed, as they say, with honourable parts, proportioned as one's thought would wish a man, and then to have a wretched puling fool, a whining mammet, in her fortune's tender, to answer, I'll not wed, I cannot love, I am too young, pray you pardon me. But an you will not wed, I'll pardon you. Graze where you will, you shall not house with me. Look to it, think on't, I do not use to jest. Thursday is near, lay a hand on heart, advise, and you be mine, I'll give you to my friend, and you be not, hang, beg, starve, die in the streets. For by my soul, I'll ne'er acknowledge thee, nor what is mine shall never do thee good. Trust to it. Think you, I'll not be forsworn.
Is there no pity sitting in the clouds that sees into the bottom of my grief? Oh, sweet my mother, cast me not away to lay this marriage for a month, a week, or if thou wilt not, make the bridal bed in that dim monument where TYBALT lies.
Talk not to me, for I'll not speak a word. Do as thou wilt, for I have done with thee.
Oh God, oh nurse, how shall this be prevented? My husband is on earth and my faith in heaven. How shall that faith return again to earth unless that husband send it me from heaven by leaving earth? Oh, comfort me, counsel me, alack, that heaven should practice stratagems upon so soft a subject as myself. What sayest thou? Hast thou not a word of joy, some comfort, nurse?
Faith, Here it is. Romeo is banished, and all the world to nothing that he dares ne'er come back to challenge you. Or if he do, it needs must be by stealth. Then, since the case so stands as it now doth, I think it best you married with the county. Oh, he's a lovely gentleman. Romeo's a dish-clout to him. An eagle, madam, hath not so green, so quick, so fair an eye as Paris hath. Beshrew my very heart, I think you are happy in the second match, for it excels your first. Or if it did not, your first is dead. Or 'twere as good he were as living here, and you no use of him.
Speakest thou from thy heart?
And from my soul too, or else beshrew them both.
Amen.
What?
Well, thou hast comforted me marvellous much. Go in and tell my lady I am gone, having displeased my father to Lawrence's cell to make confession and to be absolved.
Mary, I will, and this is wisely done.
Ancient damnation! Oh, most wicked fiend! Is it more sin to wish me thus forsworn, or to dispraise my lord with that same tongue which she hath praised him with above compare so many thousand times? Go, counsellor, thou and my bosom henceforth shall be twain. Oh, to the friar to know his remedy. If all else fail, myself have power to die.
Exit. Act 4, Scene 1. Friar Lawrence's cell. Enter Friar Lawrence and County Paris.
On Thursday, sir. The time is very short.
My father, Capulet, will have it so, and I am nothing slow to slack his haste.
You say you do not know the lady's mind? But even is the course, I like it not.
Immoderately, she weeps for Tybalt's death, and therefore have I little talked of love. For Venus smiles not in a house of tears. Now, sir, her father counts it dangerous that she do give her sorrow so much sway, and in his wisdom hastes our marriage.
I would I knew not why it would be slowed. Look, sir, here comes the lady toward my cell.
Happily met, my lady, and my wife.
That may be, sir, when I may be a wife.
That may be, must be, love, on Thursday next.
What must be shall be.
That's a certain text.
Come you to make confession to this father?
To answer that, I should confess to you.
Do not deny to him that you love me.
I will confess to you that I love him.
So will ye, I am sure, that you love me.
If I do so, it will be of more price being spoke behind your back than to your face.
Poor soul, thy face is much abused with tears.
The tears have got small victory by that, for it was bad enough before their spite.
Thou wrong'st it more than tears with that report.
That is no slander, sir, which is a truth, and what I spake it to my face.
Thy face is mine, and thou hast slandered it.
It may be so, for it is not mine own. Are you at leisure, Holy Father, now, or shall I come to you at evening mass?
My leisure serves me, pensive daughter, now. My lord, we must entreat the time alone.
God shield I should disturb devotion. Juliet, on Thursday early will I rouse ye. Till then, adieu, and keep this holy kiss.
Oh, shut the door! And while thou hast done so, come weep with me past hope, past cure, past help.
Oh, Juliet, I already know thy grief. It stains me past the compass of my wits. I hear thou must, and nothing may prorogue it, on Thursday next be married to this county.
Tell me not, friar, that thou hearest of this, unless thou tell me how I may prevent it. If in thy wisdom thou canst give no help, do thou but call my resolution wise, and with this knife I'll help it presently. Be not so long to speak, I long to die. If what thou speakest speak not of remedy.
Hold! Daughter! I do for that kind of hope, which craves as desperate an execution as that is desperate which we would prevent. If, rather than to marry County Paris, thou hast the strength of will to slay thyself, then it is likely thou wilt undertake a thing like death to chide away the shame.
Oh, bid me leap rather than marry Paris from off the battlements of any tower, or bid me go into a new-made grave and hide me with the dead man in his shroud. Things that to hear them told have made me tremble, and I will do it without fear or doubt to live an unstained wife to my sweet love.
Hold then. Go home. Be merry. Give consent to marry Paris. Wednesday is tomorrow. Tomorrow night, look that thou lie alone. Let not the nurse lie with thee in thy chamber. Take thou this vial, being then in bed, and this distilling liquor drink thou off, when presently through all thy veins shall run a cold and drowsy humour, for no pulse, no warmth, no breath shall testify thou livest. The roses in thy lips and cheeks shall fall, each part deprived of subtle government shall stiff and stark and cold appear like death. And in this borrowed likeness of shrunk death thou shalt continue 42 hours, and then awake as if from a pleasant sleep. Now, when the bridegroom in the morning comes to rouse thee from thy bed, there art thou dead. Thou shalt be borne to that same ancient vault where all the kindred of the Capulets lie. In the meantime, against thou shalt await, shall Romeo by my letters know our drift. And hither shall he come, and he and I will watch thy waking, and that very night shall Romeo bear thee hence to Mantua. And this shall free thee from this present shame, if no inconstant toy nor womanish fear abate thy valour in the acting it.
Give me, oh, tell me not to fear.
Hold, get you gone. Be strong and prosperous in this resolve. I'll send a friar with speed to Mantua with my letters to thy lord.
Love, give me strength, and strength shall help afford. Farewell, dear father.
Exeunt. Act 4, Scene 2, a hall in Capulet's house. Enter Capulet, Lady Capulet, nurse, and servingman.
So many guests invite as here are writ. Sarah, go hire me 20 cunning cooks.
And you shall have none ill, sir, for I'll try if they can lick their fingers.
Oh, how canst thou try them so?
Marry, sir, 'tis an ill cook that cannot lick his fingers. Therefore he that cannot lick his fingers goes not with me.
Go, be gone. We shall be much unfurnished for this time. What, is my daughter gone to Friar Lawrence?
Aye, forsooth.
Well, he may chance to do some good on her. A peevish, self-willed harlotry it is.
See where she comes from shrift with merry look.
How now, my headstrong? Where have you been gadding?
Where I have learnt me to repent the sin of disobedient opposition to you and your behests, and am enjoined by holy Lawrence to fall prostrate here to beg your pardon. Pardon, I beseech you. Henceforward I am ever ruled by you.
Send for the county. Go tell him of this. I'll have this knot knit up tomorrow morning.
I met the youthful lord at Lawrence's cell and gave him what becoming love I might, not stepping o'er the bounds of modesty.
Why, I'm glad on it. This is well. Stand up. This is as it should be. Let me see the county. I marry go, I say, and fetch him hither. Oh, now, afore God, this reverend holy friar, our whole city is much bound to him.
Nurse, will you go with me into my closet to help me sort some needful ornaments as you think fit to furnish me tomorrow?
No, not till Thursday. There's time enough.
No, go, nurse, go with her. We'll to church tomorrow.
We shall be short in our provision. 'Tis now near night.
Oh, tush, I will stir about, and all things shall be well, I warrant thee, wife. Go thou to Juliet, help to deck up her. I'll not to bed tonight, let me alone. I'll play the housewife for this once. What ho! They are all forth. Well, I will walk myself to County Paris to prepare up him against tomorrow. Oh, my heart is wondrous light, since this same wayward girl is so reclaimed.
Exeunt. Act 4, Scene 3, Juliet's chamber. Enter Juliet and nurse.
Aye, those attires are best, but gentle nurse, I pray thee leave me to myself tonight, for I have made need of many orisons to move the heavens to smile upon my state, which, well thou knowest, is cross and full of sin.
What are you busy, Hope? Need you my help?
No, madam, we have culled such necessaries as are behoveful for our state tomorrow. So please you, let me now be left alone, and let the nurse this night suspect with you, for I am sure you have your hands full all in this so sudden business.
Good night. Get thee to bed and rest, for thou hast need.
Farewell. God knows when we shall meet again. I have a faint cold fear thrills through my veins that almost freezes up the heat of light. I'll call them back again to comfort me. Nurse! What should she do here? My dismal scene I needs must act alone. Come, Vial. What if this mixture do not work at all? Shall I be married then tomorrow morning? No, no. This shall forbid it. Lie thou there. What if it be poison which the friar subtly hath ministered to have me dead, lest in this marriage he should be dishonoured because he married me before to Romeo? I fear it is, and yet methinks it should not, for he had still been tried a holy man. How if when I am laid into the tomb, I wake up before the time that Romeo come to redeem me? Oh, there's a fearful point. Shall I not then be stifled in the vault to whose foul mouth no healthsome air breathes in, and there die strangled ere my Romeo comes? Or if I live, shall I not be distraught, environed with all these hideous fears, and madly play with my forefathers' joints, and pluck the mangled Tybalt from his shroud, and in this rage with some great kinsman's bone, as with a club, dash out my desperate brains? Oh, look! Methinks I see my cousin's ghost seeking out Romeo that did spit his body upon Arabia's point. Stay, Tybalt, stay! Romeo, here's drink. I drink to thee.
She falls upon her bed. Act 4, Scene 4. A hall in Capulet's house. Enter Lady Capulet and nurse with herbs.
Hold, take these keys and fetch more spices, nurse.
They call for dates and quinces in the pastry.
Stir, 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 the second cock hath crowed, the curfew bell hath rung, 'tis 3 o'clock. Look to the baked meats, good Angelica, spare not for cost. Oh, now, fellow, what's there? Oh, thy lips move, but I cannot hear thee speak. Yes, make haste, make haste. Sirrah, fetch drier logs, call Peter, he will show thee where they are.
I have a head, sir, that will find out logs and never trouble Peter for the matter.
Oh, mouse, and well said, merry whoreson. Ha! Thou shalt be loggerhead. Good faith to stay. The county will be here with music straight, for so he said he would. Yes, I hear him near. Yes, nurse, wife, what ho? What, nurse, I say. Go, waken Juliet, go and trim her up. I'll go and chat with Paris. Hi, make haste, make haste. The bridegroom, he has come already. Make haste, I say.
Exit. Act 4, Scene 5, Juliet's chamber. Enter nurse.
Mistress! What, Mistress Juliet? Fast, I warrant her, she... Why, lamb? Why, lady? Why, you slug a bed? Why, love? Love, I say, madam? Sweetheart? Why, bride? Oh, what, not a worth? You take your penny's worth now. Sleep for a week for the next night, I warrant. The county Paris has set up his rest that you shall rest but little. God forgive me. Oh, Mary and amen. How sound is she asleep? I needs must wake her. Madam, madam, madam. I let the county take you in your bed. He'll fright you up, I in faith. Will it not be? Oh. What? Dressed? And in your clothes? And down again, I needs must wake you. Lady, lady, lady. Alas! Alas! Help! Help! My lady's dead! Oh, Samantha Vitae! Oh, my lord, my lady!
What noise is here?
Lamentable day!
What is the matter?
Look, look, oh heavy day!
Oh me, my child, my only life. Revive, look up, or I will die with thee. Help, call, help!
For shame, bring Juliet forth, her lord is come.
She's dead, deceased, she's dead, alack the day!
Let me see her. Out. Alas, she's cold. Her blood is settled, and her joints are stiff. Life and these lips have long been separated. Death lies on her like an untimely frost on the sweetest flower of all the field.
Oh, lamentable day!
Oh, woeful time!
Death that hath ta'en her hands to make me wail ties up my tongue and will not let me speak.
Come, is the bride ready to go to church?
Ready to go, but never to return. O son, the night before thy wedding day, hath death lain with thy wife. There she lies, flower as she was, deflowered by him.
Have I thought
Curse
by long
the
to see
happy
happy
soul
and did give me such a sight as this, beguiles of forces wronging,
Uncomfortable time, my kinsman. Murder us.
Poor and
who else might overthrow life, not life, but love can get.
Not my child dead art thou, but my
Peter! For
and
shame!
with my child, my joys are better yet.
Peace! Confusion's cure lives not in these confusions. Heaven and yourself had part in this fair maid. Now heaven hath all, then all the better it is for the maid. Your part in her you could not keep from death, but heaven keeps his part in eternal life. Dry up your tears and bear her to the church. For thou fond nature bids us all lament, yet nature's tears are reason's merriment.
All things that we ordained festival turn from their office to black funeral. Our instruments to melancholy bells. Our wedding cheer to a sad burial feast. Our solemn hymns to sullen dirges change. Our bridal flowers serve for a marriage course. And all things change them to the contrary.
Sir, go you in, and madam, go with him. And go, Sir Paris. Everyone prepare to follow this fair course unto her grave. The heavens do lour upon you for some ill. Move them no more by crossing their high will.
Faith, we will put up our pipes and be gone.
Honest good fellows, put up, for well you know this is a pitiful case.
Exeunt. Act 5, Scene 1, Mantua, a street. Enter Romeo.
If I may trust the flattering truth of sleep, my dreams presage some joyful news at hand. My bosom's lord sits lightly in his throne, and all this day an unaccustomed spirit lifts me above the ground with cheerful thoughts. I dreamt my lady came and found me dead. Strange dream that gives a dead man leave to think. And breathed such life with kisses in thy lips that I revived and was an emperor. Oh me, how sweet is love itself possessed, when love's but shadows are so rich in joy. News from Verona. How now, Balthazar? Dost thou bring me letters from the friar? How doth my lady? Is my father well? How doth my Juliet? Then I ask again, for nothing can be ill if she be well.
Then she is well, and nothing can be ill. Her body sleeps in Capel's monument, and her immortal part with angels lives. I saw her laid low in her kindred's vault, and presently took post to tell it you. Oh, pardon me for bringing these ill news, since you did leave it for my office, sir.
Is it e'en so? Then I defy you, stars! Thou knowest my lodging. Get me ink and paper and hire post horses. I will hence tonight.
I do beseech you, sir, have patience. Your looks are pale and wild, and do import some misadventure.
Push, thou art deceived. Leave me and do the thing I bid thee do. Hast thou no letters to me from the friar?
No, my good lord.
No matter. Get thee gone, and hire those horses. I'll be with thee straight. Well, Juliet, I will lie with thee tonight. Let's see for means. Oh, mischief, thou art swift to enter in the thoughts of desperate men. I do remember an apothecary, and hereabouts a dwells, which late I noted in tattered weeds, and meagre were his looks. Sharp misery had worn him to the bones, and in his needy shop a tortoise hung, an alligator stuffed, and other skins, green earthen pots, bladders, and musty seeds were thinly scattered to make up a show. Noting his penury, to myself I said, and if a man did need a poison now, whose sale is present death in Mantua, here lives a caitiff wretch would sell it to him. Oh, this same thought did but forerun my need, and this same needy man must sell it to me. As I remember, this should be the house. Being holiday, the beggar shop is shut. What ho! Apothecary!
Who calls so loud?
Come hither, man. I see that thou art poor. Hold. Here is 40 ducats. Let me have a dram of poison, such soon speeding gear as will disperse itself through all the veins that the life-weary taker may fall dead, and that the trunk may be discharged of breath as violently as hasty powder fire doth hurry from the fatal cannon's womb.
Such mortal drugs I have, but Mantua's law is death to any he that utters them.
Art thou so bare and full of wretchedness and fears to die? Famine is in thy cheeks. The world affords no law to make thee rich, then be not poor, but break it and take this.
My poverty, but not my will, consents.
I pay thy poverty and not thy will.
Put this in any liquid thing you will, and drink it off. And if you had the strength of 20 men, it would dispatch you straight.
There is thy gold. Worse poisons to men's souls, doing more murder in this loathsome world than these poor compounds that they mayest not sell. I sell thee poison, thou hast sold me none. Farewell. Buy food and get thyself in flesh. Come, cordial and not poison, go with me to Juliet's grave, for there I must use thee.
Exit. Act 5, Scene 2. Friar Lawrence's cell. Enter Friar John.
A holy Franciscan friar! Brother Ho!
That same should be the voice of Friar John. Welcome from Mantua. What says Romeo? Or if his mind be writ, give me his letter.
Going to find a barefoot brother out, one of our order to associate me, here in this city, visiting the sick, and finding him, the searchers of the town, suspecting that we both were in a house where the infectious pestilence did reign, sealed up the doors and would not let us forth, so that my speed to Mantua there was stayed.
Well, who bore my letter then to Romeo?
I could not send it, here it is again. Nor get a messenger to bring it thee, so fearful were they of infection.
Oh, unhappy fortune! By my brotherhood, that letter was not nice, but full of charge, of dear import, and the neglecting of it may do much danger. Friar John, go hence, get me an iron crow and bring it straight unto my cell.
Brother, I'll go and bring it thee.
Now, must I to the monument alone? Within these 3 hours will fair Juliet wake. She will beshrew me much that Romeo hath no notices of these accidents, but I will write again to Mantua and keep her at my cell till Romeo come. Poor living corpse, closed in a dead man's tomb.
Exit. Act 5, Scene 3. A churchyard. Before a tomb belonging to the Capulets. Enter Paris and his page, with flowers and sweet water and a torch.
Give me thy torch, boy. Hence and stand aloof. Yet put it out, for I would not be seen. Under yond yew trees lay thee all along, holding thy ear close to the hollow ground. So shall no foot upon the churchyard tread, but thou shalt hear it. Whistle then to me, as signal that thou hearest something approach. Give me those flowers. Do as I bid thee. Go! Sweet flower, with flowers thy bridal bed I strew. Oh, woe! Thy canopy is dust and stones, which with sweet water nightly I will chew, or wanting that with tears distilled by moans. The obsequies that I for thee will keep, nightly shall be to strew thy grave, and weep. What cursed foot wanders this way tonight, to cross my obsequies and true love's right?
Give me the mattock. And the wrenching iron. Hold, take this letter. Early in the morning, see thou deliver it to my lord and father. Give me the light. Upon thy life, I charge thee, whate'er thou hearest or seest, stand all aloof, and do not interrupt me in my course. Why I descend into this bed of death is partly to behold my lady's face, but chiefly to take thence from her dead finger a precious ring, a ring that I must use in dear employment. Therefore hence be gone. But If thou jealous dost return to pry in what farther I shall intend to do, by heaven, I will tear thee joint by joint and strew this hungry churchyard with thy limbs.
I will be gone, sir, and not trouble ye.
So thou shalt show me friendship. Take thou that. Live and be prosperous, and farewell, good fellow.
For all this same, I'll hide me hereabout. His looks I fear, and his intents I doubt.
Thou detestable Moor, thou womb of death, gorged with the dearest morsel of the earth. Thus I enforce thy rotten jaws to open, and in despite I will cram thee with more food.
This is that banished haughty Montague that murdered my love's cousin, with which grief it is supposed the fair creature died, and here is come to do some villainous shame to the dead bodies. I will apprehend him. Stop thy unhallowed toil, vile Montague. Can vengeance be pursued further than death? Condemned villain, I do apprehend thee. Obey and go with me, for thou must die.
I must indeed, and therefore came I hither. Good, gentle youth, tempt not a desperate man. Put not another sin upon my head by urging me to fury. Oh, be gone! By heaven, I love thee better than I love myself, for I come hither armed against myself. Stay not. Be gone, live, and hereafter say a madman's mercy bid thee run away.
I will defy thy conjuration and apprehend thee for a felon here.
Wilt thou provoke me? Then have at thee, boy!
Oh Lord, they fight! I will go call the watch!
I am slain. If thou be merciful, open the tomb. Lay me with Juliet.
I will. Let me peruse this face. Yeah. Mercutio's kinsman, noble County Paris. I'll bury thee in a triumphant grave. A grave? Oh no. A lantern. Slaughtered youth, for here lies Juliet. And her beauty makes this vault of feasting presence full of light. Death, lie thou there. Oh, my love, my wife. Death that hath sucked the honey of thy breath had have no power yet upon thy beauty. Thou art not conquered, beauty's ensign yet is crimson in thy lip and in thy cheeks, and death's pale flag is not advanced there. Tybalt, liest thou there in thy bloody sheet? Forgive me, cousin! Oh, dear Juliet, why art thou yet so fair? Shall I believe that unsubstantial death is amorous, and that the lean, abhorred monster keeps thee here in dark to be his paramour? For fear of that, I still will stay with thee, and never from this palace of dim night depart again. Here will I remain, and shake the yoke of inauspicious stars from this world-wearied flesh. Eyes, look your last. Arms, take your last embrace. And lips, oh, you the doors of breath, seal with a righteous kiss. a dateless bargain to engrossing death. Here's to my love. Oh, true apothecary. Thy drugs. Oh, quick. Thus, with a kiss, I die.
St. Francis, be my speed. How oft tonight have my old feet stumbled at graves. Who's there?
Oh, here's one. A friend. And one that knows you well.
Bliss be upon you. Tell me, my good friend, what torch is yon that vainly lends his light to grubs and eyeless skulls? As I discern, it burneth in the Capel's monument.
It doth so, holy sir, and there's my master, one that you love.
Who is it?
Romeo.
Go with me to the vault.
I dare not, sir. My master knows not, but I am gone hence, and fearfully did menace me with death if I did stay to look on his intents.
Stay then. I'll go alone. Fear comes upon me.
As I did sleep under this yew tree here, I dreamt my master in another fort, and that my master slew him.
Romeo! Alack! Alack, what blood is this? Which stains the stony entrance of this sepulchre? What means these masterless and gory swords to lie discoloured by this place of peace? Romeo! Oh, who else? All powers too steeped in blood. Oh, an unkind hour is guilty of this lamentable chance. The lady stirs.
Oh, comfortable friar. Oh, where is my lord? I do remember well where I should be, and there I am. Where is my Romeo?
I hear some noise. Lady, come from that nest of death, contagion and unnatural sleep. A greater power than we can contradict hath thwarted our intents. Come away. Thy husband in thy bosom there lies dead. Stay not to question, for the watch is coming. Come, go, good Juliet. I dare no longer stay.
Get thee hence, for I will not away. What's here? A cup closed in my true love's hand. Poison, I see, hath been its timeless end. Oh, Charles, drunk all and left no friendly drop to help me after. I will kiss thy lips. Haply some poison yet doth hang on them to make me die with a restorative. Thy lips are warm.
Lead, boy! Which way?
Nay, noise. Then I'll be brief. Oh, be dagger, this is thy sheath. There rust, and let me die.
This is the place, there where the torch doth burn.
The ground is bloody. Search about the churchyard. Pitiful sight. Here lies the county slain, and Juliet, bleeding, warm, and newly dead, who here hath lain this 2 days buried. Go tell the prince, run to the Capulets, raise up the Montagues.
Is Romeo's man. We found him in the churchyard.
Hold him in safety till the prince come hither.
Here is a friar that trembles, signs, and weeps. We took this mattock and this spade from him as he was coming from this churchyard side.
A great suspicion. Stay the friar too.
What misadventure is so early up that pulls a person from a morning rest?
What should it be that is so shrieked abroad?
Oh, the people in the street cry Romeo, some Juliet, and some Paris, and all run with open cry toward our monument.
What fear is this which startles in your ears?
Sovereign, here lies the county Paris slain, and Romeo dead, and Juliet dead before, warm and new killed.
Search, seek, and know how this foul murder comes.
Here is a friar, and slaughtered Romeo's man, with instruments upon them, fit to open these dead men's tombs.
Oh, heavens. Oh, wife. Look how our daughter bleeds. This dagger hath mista'en, for lo, his house is empty on the back of Montague, and it missheathed in my daughter's bosom.
Oh me, this sight of death is as a bell that warns my old age to a sepulchre.
Come, Montague, for thou art early up to see thy son and heir now early down.
Alas, my liege, my wife is dead tonight. Grief of my son's exile hath stopped her breath. What further woe conspires against mine age?
Look thou and see.
O thou untaught! What madness is in this to press before thy father to a grave?
Seal up the mouth of outrage for a while, till we can clear these ambiguities, bring forth the parties of suspicion.
I am the greatest, able to do least, yet most suspected, as the time and place doth make against me of this direful murder. And here I stand both to impeach and purge myself, condemned and myself excused.
Then say at once what thou dost know in this.
Romeo, there dead, was husband to that Juliet, and she, there dead, that Romeo's faithful wife. I married them, and their stolen marriage day was Tybalt's doomsday, whose untimely death banished the new made bridegroom from this city, for whom and not Tybalt Juliet pined. You, to remove that siege of grief from her, betrothed and would have married her perforce to County Paris. Then comes she to me, and with wild looks bid me devise some mean to rid her from this second marriage, or in my cell there would she kill herself. Then gave her eye so tutored by my art a sleeping potion, which so took effect as I intended, and it wrought on her the form of death. Meantime I writ to Romeo that he should hither come as this dire night to help to take her from her borrowed grave, being the time the potion's force should cease. But he which bore my letter, Friar John, was stayed by accident, and yesternight returned my letter back. Then all alone at the prefixed hour of her waking, came I to take her from her kindred's vault, meaning to keep her closely at my cell, till conveniently I could send to Romeo. But when I came some minute at the time of her awakening, her untimely, lay the noble Paris, and true Romeo dead. She wakes, and I entreated her come forth and bear this work of heaven with patience. But then a noise did scare me from the tomb, and she too desperate would not go with me, but as it seems did violence on herself. All this I know, and to the marriage her nurse is privy, and if aught in this miscarried by fault, let my old life be sacrificed some hour before this time unto the rigour of severest law.
We still have known thee for a holy man. Where's Romeo's man? What can he say to this?
I brought my master news of Juliet's death, and then in post he came from Mantua. This letter he early bid me give his father, and threatened me with death, going in the vault if I departed not, and left him there.
Give me the letter. I will look on it. Where is the county's page that's raised the watch? Sirrah, what's made your master in this place?
He came with flowers to strew this lady's grave and bid me stand aloof, and so I did. Anon comes one with light to ope the tomb, and by my master drew on him, and then I ran away to call the watch.
This letter doth make good the friar's words. Where be these enemies? Capulet, Montague. See what a scourge is laid upon your hate, that heaven finds means to kill your joys with love. And I, for winking at your discords too, have lost a brace of kinsmen. All are punished.
Oh, brother Montague, give me thy hand. This is my daughter's jointure, for no more can I demand.
But I can give thee more. For I will raise her statue in pure gold, that whilst Verona by that name is known, there shall no figure at such rate be set as that of true and faithful Juliet.
As rich shall Romeo's by his ladies lie, poor sacrifices of our enmity.
A glooming peace this morning with it brings. The sun for sorrow will not show his head. Go hence to have more talk of these sad things. Some shall be pardoned and some punished. For never was a story of more woe than of this Juliet and her Romeo.
Exeunt omnes. Ladies and gentlemen of the company, please do come and take your bows. Give yourselves a huge round of applause. Get on, come on, let's have you. Tremendous work, tremendous work. Absolutely sensational. Fabulous, fabulous. Take a second to shake it off if you need to. I imagine probably Sulin and if Evie could do with a massage right now after that.
A beer.
Incredible stuff, guys, incredible stuff. Our audience are absolutely just drowning us in applause emojis, heart emojis, heartbreak emojis, flower emojis. It's emoji central over in the live chat on the YouTube. Quite extraordinary stuff, everyone. Quite extraordinary stuff. Really well done. Audience, please remember to do send in your questions that you might have for our post-show Q&A for either the actors or the crew. We'd love to answer them. And please do make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. And if you enjoyed tonight's show, please do consider making a donation to our Patreon as well. And with that, I'd just like to say thank you so much to our cast and crew, starting as always with our spectacular producer, Sarah Peachy.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm an actor and innovation project manager based in Glasgow.
Our stage manager and master of props, Emily Ingram.
Hi, my name's Emily. I'm a director, writer and stage manager based in Edinburgh.
On music and sound, it's Adam Woodhams.
Hi, I'm a sound designer based in the southwest of England.
And Henri Cortunio for fights and action.
I am Enrique, Spanish fight director and movement director based in London, UK.
Wonderful, thank you so much. And our incredible cast put together as always by the amazing Sydney Aldridge. First as Romeo, Evangeline Dickson.
Hello, my name's Evangeline. I'm a professional actor. I'm from Somerset and I'm based in Kent.
As Juliet, Sulin Hasso.
Hi, I'm Sulin Hasso. I'm a professional actor based in South London.
As Friar Lawrence, Andy Mcleod.
Hiya, I'm Andy. I'm a Liverpudlian actor based in London.
As Capulet, Michael Bertenshaw.
Hi, yes, my name is Michael Bertenshaw. I'm a professional actor and live in North London.
As the nurse, Gilly Kelleher.
Hello, Excuse me. I am an actor, writer, and director currently based in Seattle, Washington, via Basingstoke, Hampshire, and the Bay Area.
As MERCUTIO, Adam turns.
Hello, my name is Adam. I'm a professional actor from Sunderland in the northeast of England, and I'm based in South London.
Amazing. BENVOLIO, David Djemal.
Hi, I'm David. I am an actor and writer originally from Jerusalem, now based in London.
As Lady Capulet, Samantha Wendorf.
Hello, I'm Samantha Wendorf. I'm a professional actor in New York City.
As Prince ESCALUS, Gabriel Akamo.
Yes, I'm Gabriel Akamo. I'm a professional actor and poet based in London.
As Paris, Jonathan Cobb.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Cobb. I'm an actor and I'm from the Medway Towns in Kent.
As Montague, Claire Marie Hall.
Hi there, I'm Claire. I'm a professional actor and singer from Newport in South Wales.
As TYBALT, George Jones.
Hi, I'm George. I'm an actor from the Wirral in Merseyside.
And our ensemble for this evening, starting first of all with Natalie Winter.
Hello, I'm Natalie. I'm originally from up north near Manchester, but I live in London. I'm a professional actor and voice actor.
Melanie Lam.
Hi, I'm Melanie Lam. I'm from Mauritius. I'm based in London, and I am an accountant who also acts.
Azaan Symes.
Hello, I'm Azaan. I'm a professional actor based in Brighton.
Gethin Alderman.
Hi, I'm Gethin Alderman. I'm an actor from Newport in South Wales, now based in West London.
Amazing. And our valiant swings for this evening, who in the event of technical difficulties would have swung in to keep the story moving along. First of all, it's Kate Donachie.
Hello, I'm Kate. I'm a professional actor and a beatboxer, and I'm based in South London.
And Ashley Byam.
Hello, I'm Ashley. I'm a professional actor based in Southeast London.
Amazing. Thank you all so much for that incredible performance. Really, really stunning stuff, guys. Thank you so much for that. It was absolutely fantastic. Hopefully we should start to get our questions flooding in, but I've just looked at the live chat and honestly, the applause is still going. That's like, I don't know how long we were doing that. It was probably 4 minutes of remarks there, and it's still going on. The audience are going absolutely bonkers with this. So we've got one here to start with. Did this production provide anyone with the chance to play a dream role? You feel free to unmute and answer.
Yes.
Okay, we'll close the book on that then.
Also, yes.
It's MERCUTIO is great because he's dead by the end of it, so you can go. I've been having a drink with everybody else and watching Act 2. So yeah, it's been lovely, absolutely dream role. Carry on, Dave.
I think it was
Dream
all
roll
our
with a
dream for
fishbowl.
Adam to play MERCUTIO.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And apparently it's one of those roles that they think Shakespeare might have played himself precisely for that reason, that he liked to give himself all the best lines and get off by the interval. Wonderful stuff, wonderful stuff. Do we have any more questions coming through, Sarah?
Yes, we do. I'm just capturing them. We've had a flurry, actually. So
oh, wonderful.
Let me just consult
Settling in now.
my listen. So so I'll just pick the ones that are coming through. So is it ever mentioned what degree of relationship MERCUTIO and Paris have with the prince? So yeah, Prince, perhaps thoughts on those relationships.
So it's not stated as explicitly as the other relationships in the play, but there are mentions of them being kinsmen to him. So Romeo calls, or BENVOLIO after MERCUTIO's murder, calls him the prince's man, and then later Paris is referred to as the prince's kinsman. So maybe there was an attempt to marry into the prince's family to kind of get on side a little bit, but you know, as we know, it doesn't work out for either side. So yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think there's something like near ally, I think, as well. So it's definitely vague, isn't it? You know, it's deliberately vague, I would argue, but I think there's definitely a proximity there. Yeah, for sure.
Super. We've had a question come in. There's a couple of technical ones actually that I'll put forward that a couple of people have asked. First of all, someone asked, or a couple of people asked about the order of the windows in the last scene, with the 3 dead bodies, so Romeo, Juliet, and Paris being in the centre, and asked how did we achieve that on Zoom? So I can probably just jump in and ask that. It was an accident. So unfortunately, we couldn't plan for that. So it was just a happy coincidence that they fell in that position on screen at the end and were beautifully framed by everyone else in the scene, which was fabulous. The other question was for Enrique. People were asking about the multiple fighters that we had in this one. And could you just tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, tell us the story, man.
Yeah, well, long story. Unfortunately, Yarit had to go back home because of a family emergency. So I'm sending my love to her right now. So we couldn't be together to do the fights. And on top of that, Romeo and Juliet, apart from the major fight, has a brawl at the beginning. So we were just thinking how the hell do it. So we decided to reach out to the, sorry, I curse a lot, I'm Spanish, you know me. So we decided to reach out to the big stage combat fight community. So we were looking for people that were, highly skilled and highly advanced actor combatants that were available, but most importantly that they were in lockdown together so they could fight together. So we just made a massive call. I knew some people, some I met for the first time, and we gave them a brief, and they prepared some stuff. I saw them on Zoom. I gave some notes. I fight directly through the computer, and then we created something magical. But I mean, I have to say, credit where is due. I mean, thanks to the people that join in, and I think, and thanks to I think the Show Must Go Online has this sense of collaborative process that is just fucking amazing, and it can only happen in a collaborative environment. This thing where because I cannot be there to tell the actors what to do, what not to do, so they need to tell me which weapons they have, what they can do. So I see them, I build on them. It's a complete devising collaborative process, and it couldn't happen anywhere but in this medium, and I freaking love it. So yeah, it's so good.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for doing all the hard yards and the legwork, getting all of those people together, man, because wow, what an effect did that create. Absolutely stunning. And just to let you know, if you want to see each of the fights individually, we will be posting them on our Twitter sometime in the next couple of days with details of all the fighters who took part. So thanks to all of them, and their names, I believe, and some of their details are in the video description as well. So if you want to check out all the fighters who contributed to making that brawl as explosive and chaotic as it was, do check out the video description as well. Sarah, any more questions?
Yes. So I've got, let me just think, I've got a couple here that are sort of related. So one was for Evangeline. So someone asked, did you take another actor's performance as inspiration? Because they said you were immense, your performance was immense and compelling.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you so much. Honestly, no. That sounds really bad. No, to be honest, it's such a tight turnover. And when I found out I was going to be playing Romeo, I was like, oh great, I'm going to watch all these films and watch all these online streamings because there's so much available right now. And then you realize, oh no way, actually, there's no time. So it was mainly for me. It was about grabbing a character that I probably I might not usually get to play, and just giving it absolutely what for, because it's such a rare joy to be able to play a character that isn't necessarily your normal casting. But yeah, thank you. That's very kind. Thank you.
It's awesome. And actually, someone else asked a question, just throwing out to everyone in the cast, but did any of the other actors take inspiration from any other Romeo and Juliet adaptations that they might have seen? Could also be no.
No, I would just say not really. I think when we worked together, me and Evie as Romeo and Juliet, it was amazing to have Rob there directing us, because he just put all of the focus on the text. And that sort of, because we just focused on the text, he just grabbed things out that I've never seen before in any other productions or any other films. And so it was really just exploring purely the text, and I think that's really come out in how everyone's performed. I mean, everyone's doing things that I've never seen in other productions, and I think it's all just down to how everyone's working together, listening to Rob, focusing on
the text and just being really collaborative. So yeah.
And I think partially, as Evie said, the timeline has a lot to do with that, because if this were a multiple week process, I really might have gone and been like, let me look at this version that's really interesting. But as it is, I mean, Sulin and I, there was a day when we were in rehearsal and it was like we're in 8-hour different time zones and trying to cram extra hours of rehearsal into the day. So we ended up having to create a lot as a result. Like, it was very much a creation from us because of that.
You just kind of have to go strongly because there is such a little time frame. You just kind of have to make a choice and be like, yeah, I'm going to run with that and I'm going to do it at 100%. And that's how you kind of find these relationships that you didn't necessarily see before. Which is definitely what happened for me and Sulin. We kind of like found a real lovely like teenage silly kind of playfulness, and you know, if we'd had time to probably like process that, it might not have been that fresh and that like alive. So yeah, that's really important.
Absolutely. So I've got another question here, which is again for the whole cast, and someone's asked, who of the survivors do you think is pardoned and who punished? And is Friar Lawrence right in how he attempted to manage the situation, or wrong? Over to the floor.
I can chat about the Friar Lawrence bit potentially. I think he's just trying to do the best he can. Really, it's the epitome of him. Like, bless him. It's just, and he's not really. It's not like he's kind of got a timetable for everything either. It's not like he's kind of writing it down or he's really kind of pre-planned it. He's really thinking kind of on the hoof. And it really very nearly worked. Like, it nearly works. Like, it's so close. And there's just a couple of little circumstances, like the thing in the final Friar speech in the last big scene, where he talks about Friar John with the letter and him not being able to get it to Romeo by accident. Like, it's the idea that it's a series of kind of unfortunate events, but he's willing to take the rap for it, because he did obviously put a lot of people in a lot of different sort of tough situations, but he's trying his best, bless him.
Not to be a cynic about it, but probably, you know, John and Lawrence and all the sort of, you know, the lower class characters, they were probably the ones that, you know, got the beatings and got the things, rather than these two, you know, very powerful dynasties, I reckon. Anyway.
Yeah, totally.
Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
Probably
was them. For breaking lockdown.
Well, I reckon with it being Benvolio's idea to go to that party, he's still around somewhere. He was noticeably absent from that final scene, wasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, as an actor, I was really happy for it because it meant that I could just enjoy the entire second part just watching. But I was thinking about it. I was like, why does Benvolio just disappear? Where does he go? And I think part of it is the fact that, like, Mercutio's dead and Romeo's banished, and it's like, oh, okay, well, all my friends have like left, and I don't. Yeah, he's probably in bed, really depressed, to be honest. Because he doesn't have his mates anymore. But yeah, I mean, I think that I think he really did his best. And I think that the reason that he's not in the final scene, in all honesty, is that he's not actually guilty. I believe. I think he's not implicated in it. So that's, yeah, that was fun.
But part of the joy of it as well is that, like, as an audience, you guys can decide. You can totally decide for yourselves. Like, it's totally open to interpretation. Like, we can kind of, we'll justify it. We'll justify why our characters have behaved in the way that they have done. But that's why these plays, one of the reasons why with different casts, they last so long and they keep coming back and back and back and back and back, because different companies will present things in different ways, and they're so open, they're so broad, that's kind of part of the fun, is that you can go to the pub after or wherever you want to go and chat about who you think's to blame.
Absolutely, man. I think it's fascinating. So our speculation is no more valid than that of the audience, right? Like we've had a process as actors and as a creative team to kind of talk about the play, but as soon as it goes up, that none of that matters. It's entirely down to what people receive. So it's been wonderful to see some of your comments and insights, and also quite spirited debates, I have to say, as well, about the merits of certain characters at certain times in the plot and stuff like that. There's been a lot of animated discussion going on, which to me is just one of the unique and wonderful things about this medium, is the fact that you guys can be having a blazing row about how you feel about Romeo while the show is still going on, which is amazing. I love it. Sarah, any more questions?
Yes, so I have one here that asks, the dance ball scene was so joyful and one of my favourite parts of this interpretation. Why did you choose to do it in such an explosive way? Might be one for you, Rob.
Could you repeat the question?
Yeah. So it was the dance ball scene was so joyful and one of my favourite parts of the interpretation. Why did you choose to do it in such an explosive way?
Oh, I kind of didn't understand the question. So I was like, well, what else would you do? But that's a problem that I have, right? Like, I have an idea and I'm just like, I don't think it's an idea. I just think that's what the text says, right? And so for me, it just made complete sense that this play takes this extraordinary arc, right, through almost every different genre. Because yes, you've got romance, but you've also got comedy, you've also got action, you've also got tragedy, you've also got a crime thriller. You've got all this stuff packed into this play in all these different dimensions. And so to me, it was about, at that point, what does the play need? Well, it needs an explosion of joy and of animation and life and verve. Because Mercutio's there for one, Romeo and Juliet are going to meet there for two, and we need to see the Capulets kind of in their happy space, because all of the back half is the misery of the Capulets. We don't see much of the Montagues really, but we have absolutely zeroed in on the Capulets, and so if we're going to feel for them by the time that they get there, we need to have seen where they came from, right? And we need to give them a strong contrast and a place to go. And so for all those reasons, I just felt like the party needed to be as celebratory and joyful as possible. And then when it came to the actual explosiveness, I guess, I picked a guide track that I sent to Adam, which he reinterpreted incredibly and added like a dubstep flavor to as well, which I was like a massive fan of. And that's always the wonderful thing with this as well, is like, I might have an idea and I might give someone a brief, but it's exactly as Enrique said, we base all this on the freedom of creatives to create. So even when we're asking the actors to go in certain directions with the choices, we still want them to flesh those out, take ownership of them, bring them to life for themselves. And so it was the same with the music, and then with the dance. That's back over to you, Enrique.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a tricky one because you need to do a dance very animated on a very small screen. So you need to almost go like Muppet time. So there was lots of swing movements, but everything in a very small screen because there's no leg movement. So it was all about getting the rhythm on the body and getting lots of jazz hands and opening going there. And then we tried to get some we tried to get some high fives up and down to try and high five each other on the screen, and then some improv time. Just allow the actors to go a bit wild and for a bit, because the actors like to go wild on them. So you bring them in with a bit of choreography, and then you give them a bit of more time to fly away, and then you bring them in, and then you let them fly away. By the way, talking about dancing and rhythm, there's a very important question on the chat about Kate. There's many people in the chat, especially Ian Dosher, asking if you can actually beatbox or not, and they're ready to walk off the stage right now, walk off the auditorium if you don't beatbox, because they don't believe you. So I think Kate, I mean,
if they don't believe me, I've got to do something about it.
Exactly. I mean that's a challenge. I mean, in my world of fight, that's a challenge. I mean, I would fight them straight away. So I think it's your chance to fight them.
This is the most nervous I've been all night. I've just been sat back watching everyone.
Oh no, Zoom's cutting it off. Can you do original sound? Do original sound.
Original. Oh no, it was meant to be on like that anyway. No, it's already off.
Oh.
Separate audio. That's it.
Have you got? Hang on. Let's see if we can fix this live. Right. So in the audio settings, you should have under advanced. You should have suppress persistent background noise, suppress intermittent background noise. Have you got both of those disabled?
Disable.
There we go. There we go. Now it's coming through. Take it again. Take it again. Amazing! Amazing. So there you go, doubters. Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that.
Woo. Cool. Shall I do a couple more questions?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've got time for a couple more.
Yeah, lovely. So I had another one for Evangeline and Sulin. What's your favourite moment or scene to perform in the show?
Oh. I wonder if they're the same.
Well, for me, it's the balcony scene.
Oh, that was mine!
I think it's just one of those rare scenes where we just got to play with each other and just bounce off of each other. And it was just, we hardly have any scenes together in this play, which is so shocking.
We were saying that earlier. We were in like a separate room and we were like, we don't really have anything to do together. We just have these kind of little stolen moments. But yeah, the balcony for me as well. I think that's got some of my absolute favourite lines in Shakespearean that I never thought I'd get to say. So I was really happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that scene is just full of joy. So yeah, definitely the balcony.
And it was an absolute pleasure just having someone like Evie just bounce off with. Like, honestly, sometimes it's so difficult when you just don't have, and over Zoom as well, when you don't have, you were wonderful to bounce off.
You were wonderful. No, it was an absolute joy. No, but it is. It's like to be able to like connect with someone, especially in this format, which is so I hate the word, but so unprecedented. Like it's a whole new ball game. But like when it works, it's like it sings. It's great.
Yeah,
I love with her because she's amazing. Oh, like what?
Oh, feel the love. I love it. Awesome. So one other question, which kind of relates to your scenes as well, both of you, but we had a couple of different questions about the camera angles. So someone asked, did this work evolve through rehearsal or was it planned? And then how much time did particularly Evie and Sulin need to coordinate the scenes between Romeo and Juliet with the camera angles?
Rob, you start.
Okay. So, wow. We knew that this play was going to need something extraordinary because to have Romeo and Juliet who need to kiss, and that kiss needs to be seismic. It's one of the most important kisses in Shakespeare, right? Or the two kisses are the most important ones. And then with the balcony and all that kind of stuff, Shakespeare was really getting into his own in terms of, we talked about, I think it was Henry VI Part 3 had the first use of split screen in the theatre, and so he's kind of innovating what he's doing all the time. And the proxemics in this play were especially demanding, and also we knew, or at least I wasn't willing to sacrifice the idea of those two coming together for the first time to the gods of Zoom that we've had to rely on so far. So some things that we've done, you may remember the joust from last week's Richard II, happened by happy chance. They may have ended up facing the wrong way. This one, we couldn't allow that. So in the R&D, Enrique and I started experimenting and we kind of did a lab session just on camera movements. Obviously, we've started including camera angles before now, but camera movements and actually camera blocking within scenes is the kind of next evolution of it that we brought to it this time. So we got together, we experimented to see what we're going to tell the story most effectively, taking cues from people like Wes Anderson, who tends to put the camera in the middle of the relationship. So if there's two people talking across a table, the camera will actually be on the table, looking back at both of them rather than over shoulder, which is what we're kind of used to, a shot reverse shot, as it's called in film terms. I've done some film directing. I've produced some fight sequences and stuff like that for film as well. Been a fight director on film, and so with the limited camera knowledge that we had, and then also the limited resources that Zoom provides, we wanted to see how could we get that to help us tell the story more than ever before, because this play needed it more than ever before. So we kind of got together, played with some angles, came up with some pictures and some theories. But that's about as far as we got. And then it was all about us getting into the room with the actors and trying to make sure that within those theories there was still enough play for the actors to determine, both from their environments and what they had to hand. If you think about Evie jumping over that orchard wall, for real, like that was something we never knew that was going to be possible until we managed to see inside Evie's flat during rehearsal. And so, yeah, so we tried to build enough structure with enough flexibility to then be able to hand it over to the actors, which is an appropriate point for me to hand it over to the actors.
Yeah, it's, I don't know where to start. So the main kind of thing that came into play today was having multiple variables of where our cameras were going to turn out. So there was a couple of sections where both me and Sulin were facing away from the screen, so we needed to kind of have our scripts sellotaped to various points up in my flat or in Sulin's flat, I'm sure, that we kind of were waiting to see on the chat, kind of like literally like seconds before, to know which way we were going to turn to say the lines, if that makes any sense at all. So it was, a lot of it was very, very, very in the moment, and was the thing, to be honest. I was like, me and Sulin both, we went on a kind of a break room earlier, and we were like, oh my Lord. And we were really worried about that, because I kind of have about 4 different stations set up in my flat, because the different lights and the angles and all these things. So it was very much like doing as much prep as you could, but also just going, you're just gonna have to see what happens and hope for the best, and hopefully it worked.
It absolutely worked. It absolutely worked. The audience went nuts for it. Honestly, they absolutely loved it. And it is an example of live, calling the shots live. So when these guys got into the sonnet that they share when they first meet each other for the first time, Sarah was watching the YouTube like a hawk, which is on a 10-second delay, which leaves us very little time between when they show up on YouTube and when they, in our world, are actually ready to do the kiss. So as soon as Romeo and Juliet popped up, Sarah then had to chuck that cue into the live chat. We had to get radio silence from everyone else. And then those guys had to read the chat while reading their lines while acting, and then do the camera moves themselves, and then do all the acting on top of that. So massive round of applause to you guys for that, because it's one thing to have the idea, right? But it takes the team to actually pull it off. And boy, did you pull it off. So well done. Massive, massive props. Wonderful stuff.
I think that's about all our questions.
Wonderful, fantastic.
Yeah.
Excellent. So thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Please do like the video before you leave, subscribe to the channel, and do consider making a donation to our Patreon page, an opt-in hardship fund for all those taking part, some of whom I'm sure will have lost work as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Please also be prepared to tune in again on Monday for our evening for mental well-being on behalf of the charities Mind and Calm, featuring writing from Luke Barnes and Jay Danuka, and performances from amazing actors including Rose Leslie from Game of Thrones. And then after that, on Wednesday, it is A Midsummer Night's Dream, which I am extremely excited about because I will be playing Bottom. And on that bombshell, good night, ladies and gentlemen.